we'll give them a little bit of extra time over there. And let's go on to, because you must have meant Iran, right? This was a super chat. You must have meant Iran. This was Brendan's pick. Brendan's over there. He's busy over there. But he should be like, Brendan doesn't do a happy dance. He's very like Brendan's my stock is up 8% today would be something along like, cool. That's how I roll. I'm Brendo. You know, he'd be really chill about it. But no, that's on an absolute run. Was there a story that we missed here on Iran? Not that I'm aware of, but I'll double check. I mean, when you think about it, if CapEx goes up, they should be getting benefit from that, right? So, go ahead, Adara.
You're not immediately seeing anything, but they could benefit from CapEx. They also, again, are still considered by some to be a crypto play. And I was seeing yesterday people were attributing, I guess, having them on watch to the crypto moves. So, yeah, there's a couple of different reasons this could be up. I'm not seeing anything concrete.
I could buy into either one of those being the reason. Maybe it could be a little bit of like a touch of technical breakout as well. For the record, why I was telling you about that top up there, you know, a bit of a topping tail. So I'll exit. It filled in most of the gap, but then I just saw that bounce on USO and take advantage of that as well. And Steve M saying, yeah, look at other data center plays today. Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Data center plays should be strong. You know, absolutely loving what we're seeing in some of them. Ooh, GV Nova's not making any fresh highs either. So I'll leave you with this. I was incorrect. CAR didn't break 250 in the next 4 minutes. It's now been 5 minutes and it still hasn't broken 250. It's found a temporary bottom down 43% today, in addition to it getting rugged yesterday. So there's a little something off the lows. Good luck, everybody. I'll see you back at 2. I'm willing to bet you this. When I come to do the lesson of the day, there will not be any food left on. Well, there won't be any chicken left on my plate. That's for darn sure. Maybe I won't have finished the entire lunch, but I'll definitely have eaten that chicken in about 3.5 minutes. So we'll send you back to the professor and Joe. The last day he has to do double duty is Sean will be back tomorrow. He lands today. He'll be back in the building tomorrow. Fire off to the midday. Good luck during lunchtime, everybody. Enjoy your lunch. I know I'm going to enjoy mine. Wow.
Bang! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That's your boy, Joey Options. I'm Sharif. Say hello to everybody. Who do we have here in the chat, man? We got Gorev, your boy. We got KC, 526. We got Quickie Boy. Who else? We got Omar, Oleg, Christmas. Come on, guys. If you're new, throw in your name. I want to see some new names, guys. Let's go. Danny Patel. We got Lee the Conductor, Shadow Rap, Pack Rick. We got Gamecraft Nico, Digger Devil. All right, these are new names. I like that. Neil 8619. We got Mr. Jones Peaks. Okay. Omar, that's a repeat offender there. Ace. We got Ace. We got Rollable. Crazy Dirt Weed. Ooh. Okay. Daily Day Trade, shout out. Angelo, The Real Dangerous. Mike PD right up. Homeless God. All right. Justin, Sokio. We got, who else, man? I'm trying to read the names that I can actually read because a lot of them are convoluted. Green Day Dean. I love that band. Shout out to Mastery. Hangry Wife. We got Becky. Shout out to Becky. Great. Who else, man? Come on. Throw your name in there, guys. Let's go. New names only. Options in Deep. Mojo, Eli, we got Yazid, and the OG other Zinc. Shout out to Turkish Trades and who else? One more. Kirk D, let's go. I lied, Joey. We're going to go Cushy Beats. Good morning to everybody, and good morning to you, brother. How's everything going? How's the morning?
It's good, man. It's been a good one. We're looking to put on a little bit more here. I mean, things have been working out pretty good. We had the SMR short. We had a quick long on the NASDAQ, on Netflix. That worked out pretty good for us. But yeah, we want to put on a little bit more. We're sitting in this SMR trade. Is there going to be a reload opportunity? We're going to be more patient with this one, just due to the fact, let me get my own voice out of my ear, essentially. So yeah, nice climb higher. We wanted to take that long, hangry wipe. I'm glad that you participated in the long here in the overall market. Netflix isn't rallying here. as it's heading towards the low, but we had that initial trade right out of the gate, boom, off to the races it goes, just small size. I only had about 20% on essentially what I have in this SMR trade, and I don't have very much left of this SMR trade, maybe 2.5%, maybe 5 at best. If we run out of shares, so be it. I would like a reload on that one, but we have SPY continuing to climb, new high of the day. We have Q's new high of the day. We have Bitcoin just coming off of the highs, and Tesla finding somewhat of a recovery. So we did sell off out of the gate here. 368.79 was that low. 385 was that high. So you can see that the volatility is in. And somebody asked us here earlier today, the fact that it's like, hey, Tesla's moving lower, but my call option on Tesla's climbing higher, implied volatility increase. So the options market pricing that in. But don't forget, day by day, as things start to cool down, you will see implied volatility start to compress. And with that being said, you will lose premium within that contract just due to the fact that the average true range isn't going to be as expanded as it was a day or a day after, 2 days after the earnings report. So that's what we have going on. We talked about SMR, IBIT, Tesla, overall market, reload opportunity here in New Scale Power. And that's what we're going to rock and roll with on this beautiful Thursday.
All right, guys, we're involved in Burrow here on the MX. This is a repeat offender, was running, I believe, on Monday. So we'll keep an eye out on that. But here's what I've got going on. There's a lot. First and foremost, we get testosterone replacement therapy, TRT, up into $15, dropping, though, into 14 and change. 10 EMA on the 5 is at 13 3/4. I like that 13.75 area as a good area of resistance. There was the initial breakout there at 835, 830 that rejected at around 13.75, 14. You also have these areas right there. Basically from 9:55 until about 10:40, we couldn't breach on a closing basis, that is 13.75, and there it goes. Now it's kind of using 13.75 as support, so that is something to look out for there. So TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. It's not the name of the company, but that's what I'll be calling it. Sorry, Neil. Into around $14. I'm involved in Burrow. I'm looking for 42. We're in the money here nicely. 1 hour for me is around 42, so I'm trying to pack the patience. We're taking good size on this one here to start the morning. It's a good structure hold. Here comes 41 and a half. Let's just wet the beak here super quick. See, get a liquidity tester nicely in the money. Looking for that move into 42. 42 is where we're going to take out a good piece of what we're holding. And then it's a 42.80 high. Alas, we're still putting in lower highs from that 42.80 high. Then prior bar high, that is 42.20. Current bar high is 41.35, the area we just got into now. So that is my look there, continuing to watch that. And then TZO to Zoo, a bit lighter on volume, and the volume is a little sporadic. It comes in waves, and then it dies off, much like the price action, which comes in waves and then consolidates, wave, consolidate, 1170 high. Good support possibly at around 11, but this one, I'm less likely to want to execute on this one, just given the fact that it is a bit later on volume. Repel, though, R-E-P-L, another repeat offender, one that we're seeing a lot on the scanners these days, up 21 and change, 277 high. A couple of bull flags under its belt. The initial bull flag breakout 9:30, consolidate a little bit, then you get bull flag number 2 starting at around 10. And whether or not we get bull flag number 3, your guess is as good as mine. But this one has been running for a period of days, and you can see it had a good morning yesterday, and then it kind of faded into the afternoon with no bid. So Repel in focus. Keel. Neil was talking about Key and Peel. This is kind of a mix of both names. So 345 area high. It just got into the area high. Good volume on this one. You're not getting much in the way of a big move. It's only up 13.5%, but it is at the day's highs, and quite frankly, it's been there. It goes into another day high. It's been quite respectful of trend, and by trend I mean it holds up respectfully above the 10 EMA, wick, closer. Otherwise, it has not breached it. Here comes Burrow into 41 and a half. Going to wet the beak there. Small size. Still waiting for 42. There's 41 and 2/3. 41 and 3/4. Burrow could be on its horse here. Let's see if it can take out prior bar high. 41 and 4/5 we're showing. No continuation, sadly, though, into 42. So we'll have to wait on this one. So Keel, definitely interested in this one. And I like Keel a little bit more than others, but you're probably going to have to size in here substantially to make money because you're not getting much in the way of a notional move, but you are getting consistent price action. That's kind of what I like about this one. Mentioned Repel. Penn is not a small cap gapper, but trading like one today. Seems like there is support off the volume weighted average price at around 16 3/4. It is, though, suffering from lower highs, having put in the high at 10.20 into 17.17, struggling to hold around 16 4/5 at the moment. But Penn in focus. And then you heard Neil talk about IREN, right? There's IRE. This is a leveraged ETF, double percentage-wise on the day what IREN is up. And look how directional this name is. Basically breaking out since around 10:15. You had a couple of topping tail candles to start the morning at 9:30. Oh, this is the 15-minute chart, pardon me. Let me flip to the 5. A couple of topping tail, more than a couple now that it's on the 5. But a bunch of resistance here around $26 in the implied balance open. And then right at 10.25, boom, breaking through 26. It hasn't looked back. 29.56 high of day. This one likely glances at that $30 area. We'll have to wait and see. Here comes 42. I'm just going to take it out here. It's at 41.95. And boom, there's 2R on Burrow. This is a good trade. We're still holding a lot of shares, quite frankly. So we're looking for more. I'm looking for the high of the day break, 42.80. We've breached prior bar high, but we still haven't breached the 11 a.m. bar high, which is 42.20. So keeping an eye here on Burrow, having done 230 million shares. You know where you don't watch 2.5 Men, right? You never watched
a little bit. No, it wasn't like my go-to. No.
Okay, then asking you details about it might be a little bit.
Yeah, we're not going to find any success with that.
Yeah, that's all right. There goes Burrow through 42. Now we're just going to take beak wetters. And here comes 43, Joey. And into the freaking high of day goes Burrow. It's up 55%. There's 3R for me because that's at 44. It's a 43.99, sorry, 2R. That's 43.99 high of the day. Let's see now, can we get up to 50? If we can, that'll blow through my 3R, which is at 45. So we're holding here, we're still holding good shares, and we're looking for more, Joey.
All right, man, good stuff. We'll hit the stone cold on that one there. Yeah, bang, hit that multiple R trade. Nice look out there on some of these small cap names. I'm going to probably fall into that. I was looking at IRE, and Shreve was talking about that as continuing to climb up 10% here today. SMR, are we going to get that curl over? I have to be prepared for a pullback in towards the volume weighted average price. That's why we haven't reloaded this trade. So patience is key. There was a couple opportunities here, but I want a bigger picture and a larger time frame. So with that being said, we need more data printed on the 5-minute time frame. Apple at that level yesterday, yeah. So we had that 5-minute hammer candle right at the volume weighted average price. Look at Microsoft's bottoming signal right here, Gaurav. Oh wow, yep. That was a good one. And then Apple about to break the lows. That's not going to be good for the NASDAQ. But right now with USO continue. Whoa, okay.
What happened, Joe?
So USO going up. Guess what, Shreve? NASDAQ going up as well too.
The NASDAQ is going up.
It's going. It's on that good stuff here today. Meta climbing higher as well. Well, I shouldn't say good stuff, because we should probably say not promote that.
Yeah. Well, we can joke
avoid
around,
that one.
Joey.
Coming to a store near you, though, it was already in, I'm pretty sure, in like Vancouver and stuff like that, which is absolutely insane. But look at AMD go. What happened?
Just dunking on one of our provinces. They stopped it, Joey.
They stopped it. So you can't get it. You can't get it in a vending machine anymore.
You probably can, but it's still criminalized. Remember, they tried to get that special jurisdiction to become so simple possession was decriminalized.
Yeah. Like
that worked out great.
Like Portugal.
It was fantastic.
Portugal did that.
There was no problems on the street. There was nothing. There was no reselling of anything on the street.
No, East Van was like clean as.
It's totally clean, man. It was super good.
All right, who are we going to? Let's send it off.
We're going to Dara.
First notable oil headline, I think, of the day here. USO on watch. Tasnim, so Iranian state media here, reporting that 4 Iranian oil tankers have broken through the U.S. blockade over the past 2 days. I mean, take it how you will. This is, again, coming from Iranian state media. But either way, sounds like there's been at least 4 oil tankers breaking through that U.S. blockade, according to Iran. Back to you.
Blockade, it's such a vast. I don't think you can cover every square inch of it, essentially. So you'll see some tankers get through, but it's a positive sign, right? Like USO, it is climbing but the NASDAQ is climbing. And that's what we want. USO can do whatever it would like for the foreseeable future. Eventually, you're going to get that play. I'm not going to compare it to CAR, but considering we went on such a huge run streak, at some point you will get that that retracement play.
I just can't believe we gave up the entire move in 2 days.
That's crazy.
That is so crazy.
I knew something like that was going to happen.
Yeah. I just didn't think it would be in a matter of 2 days.
That quick?
I got to tell you the truth. I knew it was coming back. We've seen it before.
$500.
VFS, remember it's VinFast? It was like,
do that?
it was worth more than like Ford and GM combined, VinFast, right? So you knew that where that was going. And I was trying to get options contracts on it, but it wasn't optionable anyway. Long story ago. Burrow, topping tail candle. If it loses 41, I'm out. I'm in at 40, so we're going to basically not give up anything on the trade. We do have the high of the day, and quite pleased I am. But let me tell you something else. So even though this topping tail candle does look quite ugly, we are still, number one, above 40 pennies, which is a breakout area in my humble submission. Number two, we're still above the 10 EMA on the 5. And number three, we're still generally holding prior bar lows. I mean, we didn't really lose the prior bar. We're about to right now, it feels like. But for the moment, it is not a bad setup. If I get stopped out through 41 and it holds up at the 10 EMA at 40, I get back in. Simple as that. But that gives me the opportunity to look at some others. So let's bring them back in here. Rappel just got into the high of the day again. Key and Peel. Look at this. You guys were talking about Key and Peel. This is like a combination of both their names, like Keel Street.
Keel Street.
Yeah. You like Keel Street?
No, actually, I'm going to be honest with you. It's actually
it's got good food.
Yeah,
I got to give it credit.
It's pretty hot garbage street.
Yeah. It's like Jane and Keel.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like Pothole Central.
Pothole Central. There's other things as well there, Joey. But it's fine. Yeah.
Well, leave the whole part out of it.
If you're from Toronto, you know, right? That's the thing. Keel looking fantastic over here. So I did get stopped out for the last remaining amount. Everything remains positive, though, on Burrow. We're happy with that trade. Keel, as I mentioned, I was singing this one's praise. I was like, look, you know, it hasn't ever breached, on the day, breached the 10 EMA. Whether you're looking in the pre, you're looking after the bell, look where you want. The 10 EMA on the 5 hasn't been breached, wick, close, or otherwise. Bitcoin. So right now it's at around the 10 EMA, that is 342. Price action right now, 347, 348. I'm interested in this one. My only concern is that $0.50 level. If I can just wait for a decisive clearing of 350, so that way I don't have to concern myself about sellers or psychological resistance at the $0.50, and then that way I have a bias that, you know, we mosey on up to 4. So Keel involved here on my side chart. And that's it. Tazoo, I talked about that. TRT, you see testosterone replacement therapy over here, Joey?
Yeah.
You see that one?
Yeah.
This might be right down your alley, right? You know what I mean? Like a couple of bull flag breakouts here. Kind of a decent trade. Above VWAP at 1275. I don't know how you feel about that. I like that 1375 level, though. And here we are. I might set up here. What I'd like, though, is a decided break of this downtrend, right? 1375 we earmarked as a good level of support, right? Because it was such an annoying resistance level, basically from the pre-market till around 1040 when we decisively took it out. So yeah, TRT in focus for me over here. Gonna definitely try to execute on it.
No, someone just mentioning about TRT. Nothing wrong with that. I don't think that's necessarily a job.
I'm not a big fan
of TRT.
No,
couple of
not
guys
good for your heart, brother.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of the guys on my hockey team, I wouldn't say they're older, but they're older
I'm not
than me.
telling him to take TRT, Arcade. Shut up.
Yeah, Arcane. Make our own
What was wrong
decisions,
with your buddies on the hockey
No,
team?
a couple of them are taking it.
Yeah, do they get their heart checked? Because
I have no idea. I'm not that in
Gotta make
depth
sure.
with their, like,
Gotta make
yeah,
sure,
with their,
Joey.
medical. But anyways, aside from that, guys, look at the market continue to climb. A lot going on. Gaurav, I'm not going to be touching Palantir today. I'm not the best at trading this name. Inverted here. I thought we would get somewhat of a curl over. Doesn't seem to be the case just yet. We'll get into more detail, but if this high is breached, you want to give it a little bit of a room. Right now, it's starting to pull back in a little bit. But keep an eye on this uptrend, right? You can see the secondary trend right here. It's holding up. You have multiple bounces off of that level. And if it breaches that pivot, then it's like, okay, thesis invalid, essentially, all right? So other than that, we're going to be patient and wait for some high-quality ones. I was thinking about a short on the Qs, but that doesn't seem like to be so. I'm glad that we avoided it at all costs today as we're getting the curl over in USO. Inverted hammer candle right below the volume-weighted average price on USO. So that's looking good. 308.93. Someone said they were going to short AMD. That's tough, but this is a pretty good signal. Let's see. You can give yourself an out of the high of the day. Risk to reward is everything, okay? So, like, you want to get in as high. You don't want to buy the middle of zones. Why? Because you have to wait until it breaks the high or breaks the low. So if you're looking to go long, you want to catch the lower end of the range. If you're looking to go short, you want to catch the higher end of the range, okay? Just to keep that in mind. Now, as for TXN, CEO was talking about this earlier. We know that they reported last night. They're continuing their momentum. TXN has been on a big-time run. I took a swing trade on this last year, and it didn't work out somewhere around this neck of the woods in August. And we just never got that bounce that I was looking for. But now off to the races it goes. Are we at all-time highs on TXN? Let's
do the monthly on that bad boy.
Yeah, let's figure it.
Could be.
We have to do the monthly on this one, eh?
Oh my days.
Oh, holy Mackinac.
Yeah, that's a good look.
Holy Mackinac, as Joe Bowen.
You know what their mode is, eh? It's not even advanced chips.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Sub 7 or above 7 nanometers.
Yeah, you were saying that. So
like
they're putting it in the appliances and stuff like that, right?
Exactly.
So someone has to do that.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do that.
Exactly.
TXN off to the races. It's like, hey, we'll let everybody fight tooth and nail over the chips and everything. But meanwhile, oh, Neil's dancing over the fried.
Now you got to bring it over here, man. We got to show the people.
Tenders. But no, to add to Sharif's point, like everyone else in the top tier individuals are like, hey, we're looking to get into that 2 nanometer stuff. TXN's like, no, we're fine with the appliances. Life's good. Neil's like, hey, give me that back.
I know, he wanted it quick.
Brother,
yeah, he's like, get your hands off my fried chicken.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know if I want to eat the fried chicken today because I want to go in for another run, and that's not going to be good for the run after the work.
Take it easy, though, bro.
So my boy Jesse Martinez.
That run, bro.
Why?
Because, man, you're still in recovery mode.
I'm in rebuild mode.
You're in rebuild mode?
Yeah, that's what the doctor said, rebuild now. They want me doing
it's not recovery anymore.
No, we're still, I guess we're still like,
a little bit
of this. Like, don't go too deep on the squats. So I'm hitting Smith machine squats. We're hitting Bulgarians and everything. Again.
You're hitting Bulgarians?
Yeah, no, like lightweight, super light.
That's
super
so really
light.
good.
We still feel, so we're trying to rebuild the quad there. And then, the run.
Fantastic,
I said, we can go run. It feels good, so I'm not going to complain. But man, am I turtle, like snail slow from a pace standpoint.
At least you got the ability to run, man.
Yeah.
Thank the blessings there.
Yeah.
Joey, did you have an opportunity to look at Bloom Energy again today? I'm just saying.
No, you're just saying. Oh my
keeps going, Joey.
Oh wow, this thing's going off right now.
It's going, Joey. Another 4.8 today. Dude, another all-time high on the Bloom.
This thing's up 1,400% from June of last year.
Yeah, it's an animal. I've been can I tell you? Before Mitch mentioned it in the fall, where I got in, I actually had Bloom Energy on my kind of like green energy watch list since the pandemic.
The Demi?
Yes.
Wow.
Fact.
Okay, so that's 6 years, the better half of a decade.
And I never thought well of it, and because it was kind of like, okay, hydrogen's electricity's slow cousin, you know what I mean? Or
so what is plug power doing?
Well, that's the thing, and that's the argument I was trying to make yesterday about not plug, F-Cell. F-Cell had a great day yesterday, and F-Cell's holding up today 2/3% in Greensville. It's not rocketing or anything like that, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I had BE since $18 a share since KC 263. Fantastic. That's fantastic. I got to tell you, I never thought positively about the name until we started seeing that whole kind of alternative energy AI trade. And it's not even like the hydrogen off which they're making money. It's these low polluting nat gas turbines that they're using, turbines, kind of similar but less polluting than the ones that Elon's using for his XAI data center. It's kind of a similar look, which kind of took me by surprise. Guys, Repel into the 10 EMA on the 5. This could be the entry here on REPL. Let's see if it holds up there. It held up there a couple of times. Look initially at 9:45 and then look again at 10:45. Here we are again at 20 after the hour. Let's see if Repel holds at this level. IRE looking at days highs. Keel looking real good. SST, Buvin. I put this one on here because of you, brother. This is a good hold, Buvin, but we're going to have some resistance here into $4 until we can clear that level. But hey, here we are, 3 2/3. Last but not least, before we go to Adara, Burrow is losing it in a hurry. So I literally got out at the top of this candle. So this one feels good. Let's see if the Burrow will hold up at around 38 pennies. That was the pre-market high. Adara.
Interesting headline here for Microsoft. Don't have a ton of context on this yet, but I think worth noting here, CNBC reporting that the company is planning its first voluntary employee buyout in their 51-year history. So potential employee buyout on watch here for MSFT.
Let's pull up a little bit more information on that one.
Ula.
See if we can find anything. I like that, Adara. Mike Retain, I don't see anything like that. Oh, maybe we'll
It'll
pull
come
up
in
something.
a few minutes.
It'll come in here momentarily. Yeah, exactly. Voluntary buyout. Okay. So there it is. Efficiency. We're starting to see this a lot within the larger companies here, Sharif. I mean, the layoffs, like and letting go of employees just due to AI. And Zuck training his own employees to essentially.
Yeah, and they're basically doing all these manual tasks to kind of train the AI. I'm not surprised by any of this. I got to tell you the truth. So.
No, but didn't we expect this?
Yes. And, you know, I think that's where a lot of doomerism kind of gets a lot of the winds under its sails, is because you're seeing the jobs in real time being lost. What you're not seeing and what you're not hearing a lot about is past technical changes where, you know, the manufacturing sector in North America completely got hollowed out. All right, yeah, the unemployment did go up, but people adjusted. There was things that, you know, people did later, and that's not, we're hearing very little about that. And
so like all of these software
people care about their jobs and their money. I don't blame anybody, man.
Of course. Yeah. So since we're talking about it, so you're seeing kind of like these software jobs slowly starting to be, I don't know if phased out is the correct term, but like you see the layoffs. Do you see a rotation maybe into the trades? Because people have to find work, right? So like where are they going to go if some of these software positions aren't there?
Well, yeah, that's a very good point. Right. I don't know offhand, obviously. I'm not that smart, but you know, I think that the market will adjust. Just how, when, and in what form, we'll have to wait and see. Guys, in TRT, it broke trend. It's above 1450. I'm looking for 69 as the first print, 77 second print. There's 69. Into 71 we go, looking for continuation. What I got 59s there, so we're not really that much in the money. Look for continuation. Let's see if we can get up into the 90s or what the situation is going to be. Anything below, I want to say, where did I put my stop? I put 14 mid-40s, right? I put 1439. So I'm going to give this a little bit of room. 1439 stop on TRT. This is an MX stock. So number one, you guys always hear me joke about this, but it's automatically under suspicion just by virtue of trading on the AMX. That's number one. Number two, we will have to fly blind if this one halts. We will not be able to see what the halt level is. And there it goes again into 7, taking out all my orders into 15, Joey. TRT's on its horse here. Let's set up some more orders now north of 15. We're looking for 1507s now. It is a $15 on the dot high of day on testosterone replacement therapy. We're looking for a bigger move here, but there is selling at around the whole dollar. So we're going to pack the patience and see what we get on this one, Joey. All
right, good stuff, man. Nice trade there, Gorev, as you're starting to slowly get the curl over here in Palantir. USO, is it still climbing or is it heading towards the downside? Something that we need to keep an eye on in regards to if you're trading the NASDAQ. Missed opportunity on the TQQQ is long. We were looking for that play earlier in the day, and off to the races it went. So we'll just we'll mark that pattern down and essentially say, hey, next time that something along those lines happen, get in at the lower end of the range or a form of a pullback, because it gave us both of those scenarios in order for us to get involved with this, and then off to the races it goes. As some of the larger names, you're back up to 202 here in NVDA, not too far off of the high of the day. If this starts to sell, I wouldn't be surprised if it drags the NASDAQ with it. Apple not doing too much either here, guys. Google, I wouldn't be surprised. There it is, right? Like a new high of the day about 5 minutes ago or so, continuing to climb 242, big time run. We look at this on the monthly, but from a daily, you're now only down a couple of percentage points, right? So 2.3% off of that previous all-time high. Amazon starting to recover. Oh, okay, Amazon might hit its all-time high before it tapped right in, wow, that previous pivot of 258.57 and then rejected. So only a couple of pennies off, or maybe a penny or two at a new all-time high. So that's a good look. We're starting to see the larger names start to hit those levels, and that's key for this market, and that's why we're seeing these continuous ATHs in the NASDAQ and the SPY, all-time high today, right? So we have a whole week, essentially, of just the market continuously climbing higher, and this conflict isn't even completely done yet. We're pricing this in. Once that deal's done, I wouldn't be surprised if we see somewhat of a pullback and then a form of continuation. We're also starting to get in the thick of earnings season. We have Intel after the bell, and then we have the larger names, a star-studded lineup next week on Wednesday. I believe it's Meta, Microsoft, Apple, and a lot of the bigger names reporting in a kind of in a compressed week, right? So a lot going on. I like what we got going in regards to that. Tesla's numbers better than expected, but I had the hunch that the CapEx, the street wasn't going to like that, and sure enough, that isn't the $25 billion.
I gotta tell you, I was a little surprised with the free cash flow, though. I thought it was definitely going to come negative.
You thought it was coming negative? Yeah, I think a lot of people did, right? The street was anticipating that as well, but it's not going to be positive for long, as you know.
No, and quite frankly, as I said this morning on the desk with Brendo, I think this costs way more than $25 billion. I think $25 billion is just a complete,
it's like me,
misdirection.
Just estimate.
It's going to be way more, bro. I mean, just buying the equipment, buying the chip-making tools from all the different suppliers, like your AMATs, your LAMs, your ASMLs, building out these things, getting it right. It's not going to be easy. Just ask Intel. So I think this is going to cost a lot more than $25 billion. But that's just my opinion. Make of what you will with it. Continue to watch TRT, looking for that move above 15. It keeps rejecting 15. There's aggressive selling in the mid to high 90s every time we move up there. Current bar high, 15 again. Prior bar high, yeah, you guessed it, 15. Double top at 15. This could be trouble here. If we can't shake the seller or sellers at 15, then we're likely going to go back down to about, I want to say 14.50 at the least. Maybe even a bit deeper, $0.25 right around the 10 EMA. So that's what I'm watching. I'm watching TRT here. I'm looking for a bigger move above 15. I have an order at 15.07, and then we're still going to hold. So I won't be done my trade if it breaks 15 and weasels up into 07. By the way, just before we go to Adara, this one is spready. From a small cap gapper perspective, 77 on the bid, 84 on the ask. I've seen it wider. That has caused some issues with me getting prints. So the ask was showing well above 77. One of the levels I was waiting at, it was like 85 on the ask, and I wasn't getting printed. So you need to be alive to that. You need to be alive to that as well for your stop placement. You're not getting the order for your beak wetter. You're not going to get your order for the stop if it blows through the stop as a result of the spread. That has to factor in. Think about that. We're going to Adara.
Yeah, we're going to talk about crypto, but I also want to provide some more context on the Microsoft reported voluntary buyout. So basically, apparently there's going to be their first voluntary buyout program in 51 years since the company began. It'll be impacting apparently roughly 7% of the workforce. They'll be offering a one-time retirement package to certain U.S. employees whose age plus years of service together come to at least 70 years. They're also going to be changing how their stock and cash bonuses are awarded. So a little bit more details. Again, if I get more info, I'll keep you all posted. Keep an eye here on BTC. Now, yesterday, BTC's high, according to this TradingView chart, 79 halves. We're still shy of that 80,000 level. Now, today, we are green on the session right now, trading around 78 halves. But, of course, below yesterday's high, though, poised for a 4-day win streak for Bitcoin. Ethereum actually starting to diverge a little bit in terms of its performance versus Bitcoin. We know these two are in lockstep for a matter of, at this point, months. As of this point, though, not only are we red on the day, we're also nowhere near yesterday's highs on Ethereum of 2,400, and we're also below last Friday's high of 2,460. So Ethereum looking a little bit relatively weak compared to BTC right now, especially on the daily chart. Back to you.
Good stuff.
Thank you very much. Neil, have you had a look at Caterpillar?
I didn't want to get in. Why did I post it up at 30s? Why did it film me at that, man?
Wait, Joey. Where is it?
Come on, man.
Oh, there it is.
It's pretty. It's so pretty.
We're gonna. This one's gonna get a lot of play, man. Get it, Neil? Yes.
This is a fried chicken day.
Oh, baby. Back into 15 goes TRT and no breaches. This is yet another move into $15 here on testosterone replacement therapy, and we can't break 15, and there it is, flushing into $0.75. This is a triple top now. Rejection at 15 at, what time is that? Sorry. 10:50. Rejection at 15, 11:25. Rejection at 15, 11:30. There's a lot of selling here, and they're quite convicted in their cause. I don't know if we can breach it that easily. Let's watch. There it is again. It's not even printing any 15s on the time and sales. Take a look at the time and sales. They're all coming in 99s, 98s. So we're not quite making it in there. So there's an aggressive, staunchy, very convicted seller at around 15, Joey, that we can't shake. We're going to continue to watch this one. You know, you're up into 15. I'd say I'd give the odds that we do breach it, especially the more attempts that we have. So it's never that way. It's never that way in real life. I'm just saying, you know, that's my bias here. And so that's what I'm continuing to watch for. I'm looking for a move above 15.
Good stuff. All right. So I didn't want to. I wanted to post up at 30s here on SMR to essentially add more into this position. We're in it now. There's a key support level. And every time we knock into that 1320 mark, you can see it start to hit on the ass. So there's some defense going on there. Someone asked me in the chat a pretty good question. Joe, where would you have wanted to get involved with the NASDAQ? There's the opportunity. Hindsight being 2020, obviously. What we have here is there's a good opportunity at the lower end of the support level, but then when you break out and the larger names start to climb higher, on this pullback, give you a really good opportunity to get involved right at VWAP. Now, you have to risk a little bit more because you're essentially not wrong until the break of this structure, but this is a good hold as the big names started to climb higher and higher. Now we're involved with SMR. Can we break this? If that defense steps in one more time, we can take a look. So what we want here essentially is focus on what we have at the tape. Are we going to get a clean flush to the downside, or are we going to see that participant step back in and push price a little bit higher? I want to see that snap and that volume break. SMR, I mean, we're not going to correlate it too much with the market because I don't know if that's necessarily the right thing to do, but we're climbing higher and we're not getting the participation in new scale power. So if the market starts to sell, then sure enough, we might be able to be sitting in a good position where it starts to move a little bit lower. Now, it doesn't look like we're going to break down aggressively in the market, but anything can happen. A headline or two steps in, and sure enough, the whole narrative changes, right? So USO heading to the downside, we have the market heading to the upside, and we're in a position that we don't. So as soon as we crack this 32 mark, we get out of dodge on SMR. We reloaded the full position, looking for somewhat of a new low of the day or something along that next step, which would be putting us around that 1309 mark. And if it's really weak, that's when we'll get those levels come in. But we're getting that curl over, right? You can see on the 5-minute, struggling to establish new highs. We just have to be cautious of that break and that aggressive move back in towards the volume weighted average price. So there's strong movement in this name over the past 2 days and in the pre-market. So a continuation to the downside might be a little bit of a stretch. We had a good trade on it already. So let's just monitor this position and be cautious and be prepared to get out when we're supposed to.
There goes TRT. We actually took $1 on this one, baby. In from 14.59 into 15.50. TRT has a $16 high. It ripped through 15 after multiple attempts, mind you. Look, TRT looks like the best in the business here at the moment. We're closing in on 100% on the day. We're dancing with 90 at the moment. We know that there were short sellers who were quite convicted, and they got clipped. Destroyed at 15 because this thing ripped up. 15.07 I got a print. 15.25 I got a print. 15.50 got a print. Aggressive move here on the testosterone replacement therapy. And here we are again trying to work back into 16. I love when Mike Beauty Rider tells these things to go ahead. Go ahead, TRT. I love it. I love it. It's a good vibe. Shout out to my man, Mike Beauty Rider. 16.79 is limit up, but I doubt we kind of rip up in that move. But hey, continuing to watch TRT here. A move back into 15 likely gets me back into the trade, seeing as it was such a staunchy resistance level. I doubt, though, we weasel all the way back down to 15. At least that's my bias. This one could be blowing through 16 here. And this is where I struggle. I just want to mention that very, very clearly to everybody. And so if you're trading this and you're thinking about getting in, and just because I'm not, this is where I don't do well. Right? When they're ripping like this, because I need to get it off a key level, right? Or an approach to a key or a break through a key level. So this is where, I don't know where to add kind of thing. I start thinking, all right, it's going to come back down to 15 because 15 was that tough resistance level from which we couldn't breach. But there's the $50 buyer now. Now we're starting to see here on the time and sales that someone's stepping in here with good size at around 15.50. Let's see if it repeats. There it is again, losing 15.50 momentarily into the 40s. So, pardon me. So continuing to watch here. Nothing for me to do. It's turning into about a topping tail candle, about 50 pennies off the highs. Let me flip to the 5-second chart here so I can kind of get a better idea of where the local support is. So I don't see any support, guys, until around 15. And now we're on a bit of a downtrend, especially if it loses. I love this guy, bro. Especially if we lose 50-50, which we're not. We're getting bought up here again, but we're zigging and zagging. So I'm going to stay clear. Why is my dad calling me? I gotta take this.
Yeah, take that, man. Do your thing. All right, guys, let's see what we got. Oh, watch out, your mic. So there it is. It's not Wednesday, so mic. Yeah, nonetheless, 1322 here, guys. At the end of the day, let's see if we can get that breakdown. 1327 was that volatility spike at the high. We need the breakdown of that 1320 level. All right, let's keep. Let's data edit this candle here. Essentially, essentially is my favorite word. So the low, what is our low of around $12? Let's change this to 1326. We're just doing a data edit here. That's the thing about this. You gotta, okay, that's gonna change things a little bit. All right, now we're heading right back lower. We wanna see this continuous move. The bid slowly starting to drop. We're getting that curl over. NASDAQ still hovering around those highs. I bid in that neck of the woods as well. So a lot going on. Tesla. We've talked about the recovery on this name here today. I think it's going to be choppy. Everything good?
Yeah,
all right, good.
Scare, man. He never calls me. He always texts if there's something to do with work. And when he calls, usually it's something important. This was not important at all.
Everything, come on, man.
God bless.
It's all right. Yeah, you know, he had to call. He had to get that through. What's up, Mr. Gorilla? Your mom watching? She's asking why I want to export weed.
I
apologize, Miss Gorilla.
No, she doesn't care. She's like, Neil didn't like that idea. I'm like, Mom, just let them talk, right? Like, leave them alone, right?
Yeah,
right?
that's all right.
All right, man. All right, Joey. Continuing to watch here, TRT, guys. This one's still holding higher lows, and there's definite support at the $0.50. I'm really thinking of getting in here. Again, small share size. I'd have to give it to like 35 because that's where it found support before. Because, well, that's the area low on the 5-second chart, about 35. Here comes the $0.50 again. I'm going to get in small share size. And if it loses 35, it loses 35. Thinking here, Joey. The trend is still strong, Joe.
You're cheesing me right now.
I love these guys in the chat. I love you guys, man. You guys are great vibes. I appreciate all of you guys, man. I appreciate everybody in the chat, guys. All right, we got to go to Adair.
Regeneron on watch. So this is pretty light on volume, only about 250,000 shares traded on the day. But I do bring it up because we have some news. White House reportedly could be announcing a drug pricing deal with Regeneron. And Regeneron also expected to win U.S. approval for a new gene therapy. Now, what's also worth noting here is there is supposed to be some kind of healthcare announcement made by President Trump today at 3 p.m. Obviously, we don't know for sure if this is related to Regeneron, but I will certainly be watching the announcement and Regeneron at 3 p.m. when this announcement is set to take place. It will be on camera. Back to you.
That's what it is. He said,
Big trades?
Yeah, did he change his email? That's the classic, right?
It's super classic. You have no idea. I get FaceTime calls, right? And it's just like the most basic stuff that they can't do. But look, man, you know what? Everybody takes their turn, baby. It's cyclical.
It's coming
You're laughing
around,
now.
man.
You're laughing now.
No, I'm not, because it's already
We're
there.
laughing now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I mean. But
even so, I'm like, around the younger folk, it's just like, yo, Joe, you boomer. And I get called a boomer. I'm like, dude, I was born in 92.
Dude, your parents are boomers.
Yeah,
it's impossible for you to be the boomer,
but that's
right?
just the term that these kids got going on. We'll hit the Stone Cold for that. And
I did a little looking into what mogging is too, by the way.
You?
Yeah, I had to, bro. It's just too much for me.
Yeah.
So apparently it comes from the term AMOG, which means alpha male of the group, AMOG. And then they kind of shortened it to make it into mogging, and it's become like a verb, right?
Yeah.
It's hilarious, man. These kids these days.
Clavicular.
I don't know too much about him, but he has like. You gave us the rundown last time, Adara, but in any event, I do like that whole That whole look, man. You know that this is like the new world of television now. The kids are not watching linear television. They don't even know what cable is. This is what they're on. They're on Kick.
They're on all
Twitch.
of that stuff. Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm more or less a Togi guy. Like Togi is and Speed. Those are the two that I really only like. I don't like Kai Cenat or anything along those lines. Speed and Togi are and Steve because those guys are just like. Not very much logic behind what they do, and that makes great content, right? That's my style anyways. Down 2.7% here today. Finally breaking that 19 or that 1320 here on SMR. Let's see if that can continue. The bid's starting to drop, but there's defense stepping in every time we head into that support level. And if it continues to do that, this could be an accumulation phase before it breaks up. All right, so we have to be patient and wait. I'm not in exactly where I want to, but I'm not also going to hit the bail button on this just yet. As soon as it heads into the zone in which I wanted to post up at, which was 1330s, I never would have got that fill, but it would have head closer, and I would have been like, hey, what are we doing? But I never want to sell support like that, especially at this time of the day in the lunch where things are a little bit more choppy. There we go, another bid flush. We'll take that all day for a little bit of a move lower, Shreve. I don't expect us to put in a new low of the day, but 1310 would be an ideal target for me to start taking a little bit of profit off this. Shreve is Jeter maxing and to hide his rising. Oh, okay. Joe is frame mogging by his politely laughing and waving. What is going on, Jay Dizzle? That's too much
politely
information.
Laughing and waving. I don't have rising cortisol levels.
Does that mean you're just getting? Does that mean you're just getting?
I think if you have high cortisol, usually you're a little, no. I have high cortisol, man.
Cup and handle on oil, says Digger Dave. I was trying to read it myself, says Mike Peter Ryder. Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit past me. But aside that, let's go SMR. Breakdown. Market heading back in towards view up. What is Malding, man?
I don't know, man. They're making up stuff now, dude.
Make stuff up. Yeah, the rage bait, 100%. I was thinking about rage bait.
Oh boy, there's news, Joey. There's big news
so
here.
There's the market. We're gonna go over to Adair. We're gonna see what we got going on. SMR starting to slide. Talk to us.
Oil here, basically at intraday highs, so still below pre-market highs. We've got comments from Defense Minister Katz of Israel saying that they're poised to resume the Iran war. Israel also reportedly awaiting the U.S. green light in order to resume the war with Iran. Now, we know that we were hearing reports that the extended ceasefire announced by President Trump with Iran was going to expire on Friday to Sunday, but then White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt yesterday announced that there's no set expiration date for the ceasefire extension. As of right now, though, Israel basically saying, we're good to restart whatever. We just need the U.S. to give us the all clear. Back to you.
We take some off at 10s there. We're fortunate enough to catch that fill as it slaps the bid, moving down. This is the move that we were looking for.
Get it, Joey.
There. Yeah, there it goes. A nice little move to the downside in SMR. We got that reload. Risk to reward would have been drastically better on the I'm reloaded, but that's not necessarily the case. But hey, we'll take it for what it is, and a good little trade here on SMR. Now you can see my average price is drastically different.
Good job, Joe. That's a good entry there, and way to be patient, baby.
Yeah.
All right. I don't like anything at the moment, but Bovin's saying ELMT, so I'm like contractually obliged to look at all of Bovin's callouts because he is my other pair of eyes. Shout out to my man Bovin. ELMT. What do we got here? Elmet Group. Oh, is it IPO? Bovin, is IPO? Yeah, I'm not getting any info on this.
Yeah,
so this is likely an IPO.
Yeah.
ELMT, is it Neil? Yeah, Neil's giving the green light. ELMT, let's put it on the IPO screen, which is the last one. Thank you for this one, Bovin. I don't have any information quite yet. What is this, on the NQ? Yes, okay. I'll give you guys quickly here. Opens at 18. The opening print was at 18. Shares were priced at 14. We're just going to read this quickly. We'll put it over here. We'll zoom in, and we'll be able to monitor the price action. Bro, hurry up and load. Such a dude. All right. Elmet priced 8.6 million shares at $14 a pop. The deal size was increased to 8.6 of common stock from 7.7 and price at the high end. Okay, like right away, I like that. The high end of the range, it was 12 to 14. And it printed 14, that's how much they sold for, and then it opened at 18. So it's got a lot going for it here, right off the bat. Go ahead. I know you want to do something there. Go ahead.
See, now you're doing what I'm doing, knowing you.
I could have yelled about TRT and Burrow, but I didn't, bro. Anyway, Elmet is a U.S.-based provider of precision engineered components. Screen, please. engineered components and advanced high energy systems for the aerospace, defense, and government, industrial, medical, semiconductor, and electronics, and energy industries. They cover all the industries. So US-based provider of precision engineered components and advanced high energy systems. All right, for a lot of the main stuff here. Okay, it's tanking now. All right, ELMT dropping bigly here. Could we find support at 19.5? Well, we opened up at 18. Can we hold up at 19.5? Doesn't look like strictly, from a strict sense anyway, we're going to hold up. 1922 limit down. 1922 limit down. So if we lose the $0.50 here, we could find ourselves at the $0.25 pretty quick. But there's a buyer here, Joey. There's a buyer at the $0.50. Let's give this one the old college try. And if it breaches that $0.50, we're out. Simple as that. I'll give it to 40, and then we'll give it all the way down to 30. What do we got? 62. Here comes 20. Boom. Into the level. Looking for continuation now above 20. Let's go ahead. Post at the $0.25. Let's see if we can get that continuation above. I see TRT's back at 16 as well, guys. So TRT is also in play here. Keep an eye out on that. Big seller here, Joey, at 90. Can't shake the sell. Oh, my God. TRT's ripping into 16.25. Everything's moving now. Here comes 20 again on ELMT. No continuation. Big seller at 20. Packing the patience. TRT's ripping. Look at this. Here it goes into 16.35, but it is losing the bid here down into 16, so be careful with that one. Back to ELMT. Back down into my entry over here, so we get a rejection at 20. No continuation through the level. I'm going to pack the patience. If it loses the $0.50, I'm out.
All right, good stuff, man. We're slowly piecing some out. Jay Dizzle, I don't think Bravely that deserved to be deleted, but that's all right. Nonetheless, we'll let you do your thing, man. Yeah, it was a good one. I liked it. I think it was funny. There it is, all-day trender at this pace. Pardon me?
I'm just saying, seller at 76, ELMT. Yeah.
Seller at 76. Okay, we'll hit this. Bang on SMR and that seller for at 76 there for Sharif. He's gone. He's gone.
He's dead.
He got Stone Cold. Break that glass on him. He's no longer. He's unalived, as the kids
They do that so they don't get dinged by the algorithm. But like the algorithm's gonna pick up on that too. So
hey man, it's all right. We'll let it do its thing. But there it is, a nice little move to the downside on SMR. We were patient enough to wait for that reload. We had Netflix in the morning, and then we just been riding this wave on SMR all day. So it's been a good one. As the NASDAQ starts to head in towards some key support levels, you can see that it was acting as resistance. Hold on now. Come on. Do it, man. You can do it. There you go. So we break higher. Now we're holding this level. So we had a pre-market zone and we had an intraday pivot. It's bouncing off of this, but I wouldn't be surprised if at some point we do fall right back into VWAP, okay? So we're breaching it right now, and what we're seeing from a price action standpoint looks relatively weak. The SPY is closer to the volume-weighted average price than what the NASDAQ is, so watch out as some of the larger tech names are probably moving to the downside. Gaurav, nice work there. Hope everyone's having a fantastic one. The shorts have been working today.
They've been working. Here comes 20 again. 1997, 1998. We're working up back into 20 on ELMT. We have two bottoming tail candles on the 5 that hold up at 1950. So it does look good from a support level. Whether or not we can break 20, that's kind of your guess is as good as mine. Here's what I'm talking about. Look at both of these candles, really finding support right around 1950, but there is no continuation. So I did take some out there in the 90s, pardon me, just to de-risk. So yeah, we're going to let this one go through 20. We won't be taking a beak wetter just above 20. We're going to let it go. See if this one can work up into 21 or whatever. Otherwise, 1950 ends the trade for me. Adara.
Keep an eye here on YOU. This company is called Clear Secure, and they were on watch given the recent TSA issues that we've had as a result of the DHS partial shutdown here. It's worth noting they work in, I guess, identity security and identification at airports. So this is significant because CBS reporting that President Trump is going to be nominating a man named David Cummins as TSA administrator. Now, President Trump has apparently already signaled interest in privatizing airport screenings. So that's going to be significant here for YOU. Worth noting, only roughly 600,000 shares on this name traded on the day. But just be aware, YOU on watch with a TSA administrator reportedly being nominated by President Trump, according to CBS.
Hold on. Joey, here comes the $0.50. Here comes the $0.50 on ELMT. Come on, break 40. Let's go. The seller at 40. He's running scared. No, he's strong, Joey. He's strong. His feet are strong, just like, what's his name? Tyrone Biggums. Now dropping. But at least we breached 20. We're holding it from 62. I want to see if we can get to the $0.50. Hit it.
Yeah, man.
Holding, we're holding here, guys. Seller at 30 now. There was a seller at 40, and his feet were very strong. Now the other person here selling at 30, his feet are strong, man. But we saw that, you know, that stop. We saw that $20 seller earlier, and he got killed. So let's see if we can kind of rise up a little bit more here. We are encountering VWAP.
Yeah,
why are you doing this?
It feels
today,
Friday, man. It feels like Friday.
It feels
man.
Friday. You know why it feels like Friday? Because you're putting in doubles, my boy.
It does.
You've been putting in doubles.
And then tomorrow, I'm no longer. So we're like, hey.
Yeah, he's back tomorrow. Katinaman's back.
Is back.
He's Bizak.
And he's Bizak. No, we are not. It says,
what happened?
Min Cornetto. It says, boys. No, we're not.
No, man. Come on now. We don't show up to work like that. That's crazy talk.
That is crazy talk.
Oh, my Lanta. This one just dropped off a cliff. Lost 20, Joey. ELMT just lost 20. Let's see if it can recover. We're in at 62. It's showing me 92. I didn't expect 20 to get, drop that easily. Wow, we're losing the bid. I'm out. Taking it out at 65. We were in at 62, so we make money on all parts of the trade. But that was a big loss there. I didn't anticipate that, man. I thought we were definitely going to at least try for 21. But here it is again, rising back up into like 1975. This one gets back above 20. Actually shows me that there are buyers there. I'm going to get back in. I don't forget, guys, TRT still very much in play. 1635 high. We're down into 1572 now, but we're still holding prior bar low on TRT, the low of which is always has to give me trouble with the mouse overs. TRT, prior bar low on the 5 is exactly 1550. Current bar low, we're basically at it, 1564. So we're holding trend on TRT. Let's see if we can kind of mosey back up above 16 and get involved there. EUDA moving up, halted up, says Bovin. Let's take a look at EUDA. By the way, ELMT is working its way back into 20. EUDA. There we go. I don't know, Bovin. You know how I feel about these ones with like... There's a lot of down halts there, Bovin, man. I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 in a row. 4 down halts in a row. Now we got a couple of up halts. 2 up halts in a row. Sorry, the ticker is EUDA. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, above 1450, Bovin. If it can get above 1450, that's VWAP. It's also a prior halt level. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to keep an eye out on this one, but it's like a multiple halter, so it's a little bit tough. Joey.
Good stuff. So, yeah, we did get pretty close to a new low of the day in the new scale power here. So, 1291, the previous print was around 95. So, a couple of cents. You are getting the bounce now. Someone mentioned in the chat, Tesla continuing to climb. I'm going to hit some of the short sellers' stop losses. I tend to agree, especially if you've been using the high of the day as you're out, and it starts to slowly squeeze, right? You can see that trigger, and then you can get that cover rally. The market's bouncing off of the volume-weighted average price for the umpteenth time today, so not too bad of a look. Let's head over to our watch list and see what we got going on from the larger names.
Question.
Yeah.
Why are the cybersecurity names getting clipped today? Is it like
ServiceNow yesterday? I think.
Because of the software?
ServiceNow. Apple not doing too much. A quiet one considering what we've seen from yesterday's session. Google, same narrative. It was at the high of the day, but then decided to sell. So helping the NASDAQ come a little bit lower there, guys, for a potential reload. Let's see how we trade for the rest of the session. Microsoft was absolutely on beast mode yesterday, finally starting to recover. Yeah. For sure, man. It's finally starting to recover. Meta, nice recovery as well, too. Man, why do you got to do that, brother?
What, bro?
What?
There's nothing wrong with that. What?
Yeah. AMD, 307. A high of 310. We were talking about a bear call spread, but this thing is getting awfully dangerous to implement that strategy. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it climbs another couple of points, $7.50, and closes above 315. Oh, that's the Austin 316, right?
That's
we'll hit that anyways. But other than that, like AMD is a freight train. We were talking about, I like the setup, but it doesn't seem to be working right now. We still have about a day and a half left of trading, and AMD is extremely strong. So we want to go with that flow. Shriek was just asking about some of the software names. So let's head into the neck of the woods of like the CrowdStrike, which is really struggling off of those lows. I mean, we've had some pretty solid bounces, but I still have that hunch we're not finding our way just yet. We don't really know what to do with them. We're still down 21%. It's up off of the lows more than 20%. So technically in a bull market territory. But Zscaler, we're going to skip that one because it can't get out of its own way at this point and just absolutely disastrous. But we can head towards the Pan Ws and see what we got going on. It's the same thing, the same narrative. Essentially, you're off of the highs, maybe a little bit more than CrowdStrike. We're down 21, 23, so only a couple percentage points. But what we do have going for us is those higher lows in this trend. If we sit on the backside of this and start to move lower, it can get really ugly in a couple of these software names.
All right, man. Yeah, let's look at EUDA because Bovin says it's ripping.
Thanks, Tikar.
Yeah,
appreciate
good move there, Bovin, into 1450. It kind of topping tailed though, Bovin. EUDA, pardon me. Let's put that. This thing's up 128%. And to be quite honest, it's down 25% off the high. So it could be substantially higher if we do reclaim the high. So EUDA, it's worked its way here, Bovin. We're going to have to keep an eye on it. But yeah, that will be a last resort for me if I can take some better trades like on TRT or TZOO. I was just telling Grunfeld in the chat, I'm like, I like TZOO here. Here's the volume weighted average price at around, what was that, 1057. Current bar low is like 1068. Let's see if this one can mosey back on above 11 or if it's destined to actually touch the volume weighted average price. Also, TRT finding support yet again at the 10 EMA on the 5. And here's what we've got. You've got this candle here at 12 o'clock, 1548 high. Prior bar low is 1516. If you were to get in here on TRT, you could do one of a number of things. One, there's obviously a buyer at 15. We saw the aggressive selling at 15. That's number one. Number two, you could give it to prior bar low, which I mentioned is 1516, or you could put it a smidge below the 10 EMA on the 5. The 10 EMA on the 5 is showing like 13s or 12s, so you give it like 10 or 7 or whatever, right? Or you could insist that trend break. Right now, we're putting in 2 lower highs in a row. You could insist on a trend break by waiting for the breach of the prior bar, which is 1577 high. So take your pick about how you want to get into this one, but TRT is going to remain on the side chart for me. And good move here for Tzu, right up from like 1060 or whatever we were talking about into 11. So a nice bounce back up. It doesn't look like this one's coming back to VWAP, Grunfeld. Looks like it might mosey on back up, 1198, essentially a 12th touch. Let's see if it can get above these moving averages here, the 10 and the 20, or what the situation is going to be. So those are the names we're looking at. We'll have more to say, I think, when we come back about Keel, because Keel's setting up for some higher lows here. But for the moment, Joey and I, we take a little bit of a break. We send to Dara for happening now, and then Neil has his lesson of the day.
Well, I'll tell you, it doesn't look like the NASDAQ is keeling over here. We pull back for the last 2 15-minute candles, but trying to hold up decently here, and nice little bounce at the low of this last 15-minute print on the Qs. We'll take a look at the SPY, which is looking relatively similar here. We did just get a headline from Israel's Channel 12 saying that there's going to be a narrow cabinet convening at 8 p.m. Israel time today. So if I get any news from the cabinet meeting, I'll let you know. But speaking of news, guys, we do have at 3 p.m. a press conference from President Donald Trump, and I think I might already know what it might be about. This is going to be a healthcare affordability event. Now, we know, I was seeing reports, I mentioned to you guys probably 20 minutes ago, that Regeneron, RGEN, has apparently struck a deal with the White House. So this could be a stock to watch during this event. If I get more details, I'll keep you posted. But REGN, light on volume intraday, not a super intraday tradable stock, but certainly something to be aware of if you're in that stock. Now, one stock here that's incredibly easy and fun to trade intraday, that's going to be TSLA, Tesla. Now, auto revenue actually did decline on a sequential basis, but it's up on a year-over-year basis. Services revenue, incredibly strong year-over-year. And Elon Musk making more promises to investors of dubious timeline. And we've got another company reporting after the bell. Actually, this company got name dropped by Elon Musk yesterday with the Tesla earnings. You've got Intel. We know they're in Terafab. We know they've had deals with everyone from the US government to NVIDIA. And now they're going to have another earnings report. Can they post a profit? Because right now we're expecting about 1 cent a share. We'll have to find out tonight at 4 p.m. Be there or be square. I'll be here. We'll get Neil. We'll get Joe. We'll give you the earnings live. So where would you be if not Trader TV Live? I don't know. So please stick with us. In the meantime, stick with us for Neil's lesson of the day, because Neil, I know there's a lesson, but what is it?
Welcome, everybody, and thank you very much, Adair. The lesson is I'm done the chicken. I'll get to that at the end. It took me about 2, maybe 3 minutes to finish it. But the actual lesson is going to be about FOMO. I like to consider myself a disciplined person. And now, FOMO takes a lot of different forms. The typical FOMO is I missed a trade, or this is happening and I wanted to be all over it. So I'm going to, maybe like you chase a move in a stock, like it's going in the favor you wanted, so you buy it at a horrible price. You buy the tops because you're chasing the trade. Or like maybe you just like you take some kind of a sympathy play to also try to chase it. It's something to do with a missed move on that stock that causes you to trade it. There's another side of FOMO, which it can manifest itself in a lot of different ways. What it can do is it can take your attention away from something else. Now, I'm going to give you an example where I won on a trade, but FOMO cost me more. And the good news is I can actually look at my note, because I had the note my own Intel. Forget about the Mobileye, who cares? 69 area rejections have held 65 for support long. So I'm looking for the support long into a certain resistance level. I'll get to that in a second. But I had Tesla down here, pop and fade, 82 to 86 range. Well, you can pretty much see the reversal candle that I'm a fan of into the prior low. There's your wick, it doesn't break 86. You got your bodies at 82, so the range was right where the curl would happen almost exactly. You're gonna note that I don't have a trade in there, and you probably know exactly why I don't have a trade. Now, if my initial look on Intel was long off of 65 to 69, how could I possibly miss out on Tesla to have gone into an Intel short? Well, because of FOMO, right? Like, it didn't dip and rip for me in Intel. I didn't catch, and if you go back, you will see the moment at which not only did I try to get the retracement through the low, I missed the punch through the volume weighted average price. I've actually missed twice trying to catch the long higher and didn't get my fill. And now all of a sudden it's gone $2, and that's the missed move. Ultimately, I'll remember back to the rest of the week when these like fade trades have worked off of this same price area, breaking 68 and not getting to 69, and then looking for the reversal. And in the moment where Tesla was setting up the original idea, I was still looking at Intel, the one that got away. Now, I could just say to myself, but Neil, you had a tight stop, you eventually got pretty much the bottom end of the move perfectly, so you're up in Intel, that's the end of the story. Who cares, right? You made money on it. But that's not how you should look at trading. I should look at it this way. In the moment when this was happening, like the A today was for me like long on Intel. There was an A+ setup, it was looking for the long, whether it was this little trend break or whether it was real ideally looking for the bottom here at 65. It wasn't that short. And then the open trade for Tesla that I was looking for was the topping tail at 82 to 86. That was the A on Tesla. So that's the one that I have to be in. Could be breaking trend right now, everybody. That's the one that I have to be in. So you can't just simply sit there. And I say this oftentimes. The lazy part would be me just saying, but you made money on the thing you paid attention to, you eventually made money on it, so therefore good. That's not true. It's not good. Because I had a better setup that could have done better for me. And I didn't have it because I was, FOMO trading Intel. It just so happens that I made a good trade on Intel after I FOMO'd it. That just is what it is. It doesn't make it the right decision in that moment, and you've got to be able to grade yourself in that way. Some people talk about writing a journal or not. Like, it's the kind of thing I don't need to write in a journal. I know what I did. and I can't just grade myself positive. It doesn't work that way. So FOMO isn't just about chasing in an individual stock. It can also distract you in the moment when I shouldn't be looking at this thing, whether I trade it or not. I shouldn't be looking at it because there's an A+ set up somewhere else, and I'm now not seeing it because I'm laser focused on the one that got away. Well, if that trade got away, wait for the next opportunity in it and move on to the better one when it is there. This is the point at which I always give the rating on the lunch. I ate the chicken. I haven't even touched the rice because I just don't feel like the carbs. The salad was very meh. Very meh. The salad was just not that great at all. And to be honest, the fried chicken wasn't as good as it was last time. Yeah, I don't know. The skin just wasn't quite perfect. I can maybe give it like an 8 just because I really like fried chicken. But then if I'm being real about the salad was a major disappointment. The tomatoes weren't very fresh, so I got to give this one a 7.9 because that's about as low as I can actually give a good meal. So I'll go with 7.9, but that's like a disappointing 7.9 if I can. Go back to the midday, boys. The futures are at the volume weighted average price. Tesla might have just turned the corner, breaking the trend. We'll see. Right now, this market might be giving it up a bit.
Give it up. Give it up. Yeah, Neil, no, it's not just the market, my man. Even the small caps are all turning here. And none of them will look really good. Hold on. Burrow might be, trying to make its way. I had a pun, but I don't want to do it. Making its way back here. Let's see if this one can weasel on back. Sub $1, sub 50 pennies, mind you. Up 37.25. We had a good trade to start the show on this one into the top pink tail, but it basically failed all the levels. And now it failed VWAP as well, quite decidedly, but got bought up into about 37.5 pennies above VWAP, which is at 37.25. Talking about, quarter penny here. In any event, I'm looking for a move above this area high. There's a double top, the 1135, the 1140 candles, the high of which is 38.98 and 38.97, literally. That's the high of both these candles here. So if we can work, let's just say above 39, then we take out prior area high. My concern is, though, we have so many different levels that we could encounter resistance. Case in point, the 1015 to 1025 candle where it rejected off 40. And then we're looking possibly at more resistance at around 41.5. So, yeah, you try to take the best part of the trade. And then, the secondary or tertiary part, those could be B, C plus setups at the most, right? Sometimes, not all the time. This was the A plus setup though. Why? A plus, A, B plus, whatever. Because it was trading above the 10 EMA and it had the momentum with it. The higher lows were in, the higher highs were in, above the moving averages, above that 38 penny pre-market high. It had all the good stuff. Now you're kind of trying to take the remainders. And sometimes the remainder they taste really bad. So BURU, we're going to keep an eye on it at Joey, but it does look like it's had better days. Plants need water. Tony. Stop, bro. Lettuce, Go TV, dropping 2 in the chat. We thank you for that, Joey. Ooh. Right. Can you look at CCL? I'm shorting with oil crisis. I can tell you I will never be on a CCL cruise. I've seen too much. I've seen far too much. The internet spares nobody, Joey.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Especially if you screw up. You'll be online. Let's have a look at CCL. So you're thinking short with the oil crisis. I gotta tell you, this thing's up 1 and change on the day, 1.15. It's above VWAP. It's above the 10 EMA. It's putting in higher lows and higher highs. It's off the high, which is 27.33. Current print looks like 27.25. I don't think this is a setup for the short. I respect, kind of how you're looking. I see EUDA above in. It's ripping up. EUDA is now almost 200% in green, and it's like almost at 19 with a high of 1950. That's EUDA. But let's look at CCL. Continuing here, up 1.22, and here it is, man, almost into that, above the $0.25, quite frankly. So I got to tell you, I don't think this is a good short setup. I would wait for the loss of this candle right there. That's the 1145 candle that ended up being a hammer bottoming tail, the low of which is 27.13. But there's also support right around here, which is, I'm assuming, why this got bought up. There's support from the implied balance, which is like the first hour of trading, at around 27, 27.08. VWAP is there as well. Yeah, let us go TV. I like how you're thinking. You're thinking oil. You're thinking take something that you know would be hurt by oil. It's just the chart is not setting up in the right way, though. That's the thing. That's kind of the point I wanted to make. CCL is bad. However, Celebrity is much better. That's what I hear. I hear Celebrity's pretty good. I hear Royal Caribbean is pretty good. And there's like other ones as well that, you know, Princess. My parents go on that one, but that's like for old folks and stuff. So we're going to Adair.
Keep an eye on PLTR. Not too much of a move here. The stock was already at day's lows, but interesting headline from the Wire, or sorry, not from the Wire, Wired reporting here that there's some Palantir internal dissent building as employees question the ethics of their core business. They're citing internal Slack messages that I guess were revealed. I have yet to read the entire report, but I'm going to read through that for you guys right now. They also interviewed current and former Palantir employees to get a sense of the culture. Again, Palantir employees reportedly experiencing some internal dissent. Back to you.
Oh, yeah, that'll go over well with Alex Karp. He's very, very understanding person, level-headed, right? You know, just he's that kind of guy,
not
right?
About destruction or anything like that.
The Department of Offense.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he I love the haired one, man. He's fantastic. Watching EUDA here. Great call out by you, Bovin. I still don't want to trade this. It's just, it doesn't fit within my risk parameters, nor is it, you know, the structure is what is concerning me with that 19 to 1950 area high. I'd like to see us blow through that. In fact, I'd like to see us above 20, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not liking Keel either to New York. It's still putting in lower lows and lower highs. It's at, what is it, 342, right? So it's not really going here, man. I'm not liking Keel. I'm not liking TRT, but I'm starting to like the look of Burrow's jib here because it is now breaking above that 39 penny area, 39 and a fifth. Burrow here recovering, still obviously generally lower than that 41, 42 area where you could say we really had resistance, but continuing to watch Burrow here, Joey, could be setting up here, my man.
All right, my brother. Yeah, good stuff. As the market's finding something to rebound, we got our eyes here on Bitcoin for this shelf to be broken. We can post up at this higher end of the range. But I think at the end of the day, this thing is pretty strong, right? So do we avoid it? We had the NASDAQ pull back into the volume-weighted average price. We had the SPY, and we haven't yet on Bitcoin. Yesterday's strong session, okay? Why is this page always staying in front? Like it's always pushed forward.
Which one?
You know, this one.
It's,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did you have the settings for it to be on top? Because I have the same problem.
You have the same. It does that to you too?
Yeah,
All right. No, I just wanted to. I figured that's what it was, but okay. Nonetheless, here we go. IBIT. Are we going to break down? Posting up here is going to give us a better risk to reward ratio. I don't think we'll get 52s again, but anything can happen. We're still sitting in this new scale power trade, and we will be until we establish a new low of the day, and maybe even then some. I've seen somebody saying 1275. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but hey, we're in it to win it. So we'll continuously hold. NASDAQ getting a bounce, and USO has punched through the volume-weighted average price and continuing to climb high, hovering around that previous pivot of the intraday session. So keep an eye on USO. We can find that. That's why I can never actually find the tab, and that's why it was making me go through the wall essentially. But all right, there it is. Yeah, I know, man. Very good stuff. But here it is. Like, let's pull up USO and see what we have going on. We'll take a look at the options chain. Even though I don't believe the effect of the derivatives market is like implemented too much into actual USO, just due to the fact that essentially a headline steps in, boom. We've seen on multiple occasions where we had almost triple digits open interest and it didn't matter to the underlying asset. It's irrelevant. And I think that's the narrative with this, specifically considering the circumstances that we're currently sitting in regarding oil and the NASDAQ. But let's head over to the options chain and find out if there's anything substantial or anything along those lines that we need to keep an eye out on in the Qs and USO, okay? Has the implied volatility upticked? Yes, absolutely, 80%. But if we go along with this expiration cycle, that everything that closes tomorrow, expires tomorrow, the largest size that we have is already in the money, $130. We're now trading $132, so just keep that in mind. Moving forward, let's take a look at what we have on the NASDAQ. What do we have on the Qs? Is the implied volatility starting to uptick? Just the other day, earlier in the week, we were sitting at 9% implied vol on the Qs and on the SPY. Insane. You're starting to see a little bit of an uptick now, but we're not that fearful right now as the market continued to climb to new all-time highs. And on multiple occasions, I said we can use this as a sentiment gauge, right? Like you have the VIX, you have the fear index, and when you climb higher, it's like, okay, when are we going to start to cool off? And then that's when you see that inverse correlation between the VIX and the overall market, essentially saying, hey, VIX cooling down, that can be a bullish signal for a lot of equities, and that's the case that we've seen. We have Broadcom all-time high, AMD all-time high. Amazon might beat NVDA.
Hold on, Broadcom got up to all-time highs? I didn't even notice.
Brother, yesterday.
I didn't know.
Bro.
I can't monitor all of them, man.
Can't monitor
Oh, baby.
All right, but yeah, that's what I'm getting at. So we can use this as a gauge. Elevated VIX, elevated implied volatility, bearish, fear within the market, typically moves to the downside. Things cool off, the buying programs start to kick in, and sure enough, off to the races you go. And I think Amazon's going to outpace NVDA and Google to its all-time high. So keep an eye on it. Microsoft's not even in the conversation right now, and Apple's a little bit farther behind. So it's not looking bad whatsoever in the Magnificent Seven. The ones that we say, oh, do we need them to lead the market? Yes, we do, unfortunately, but that is the world that we live in.
Yeah, man. They're the ones with all the money. They're the ones buying all these chips, right? What would NVIDIA be without the mag? Can you imagine?
It wouldn't be a mag.
It wouldn't be
a mag.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a mag.
Right? Like, it wouldn't be a mag.
Well said. What's my favorite bicep exercise, Anurag? I gotta tell you, man, arms are super secondary for me. Always looking for the major muscle group as the focus, and then I just finish off with some light buys and tries. Yesterday, I did preacher curls with the easy curl bar. I did that on the preacher, and then I actually used the angle of the preacher on from the other side, so not leaning down like this. I lean my back against the 45-degree angle of the preacher, and I do skull crushers. All right, so that's skull crushers are pretty good. So that was my move yesterday, but I gotta tell you, I mean, it's not. Arms are super secondary in my humble submission, so it's not really looking at that. All right, we have more to say here when we get back, but we got to go to Adara.
Yeah, brief headline here. Just keep an eye on oil, seeing more about tankers at the Strait of Hormuz. Reportedly, 2 bulk carriers have crossed the Strait of Hormuz. Unclear what the origin of them is. This is CNN citing Kepler, which is a ship for basically they have like research intelligence on this stuff. So either way here, CNN reporting 2 bulk carriers have crossed the Strait of Hormuz. Again, if I get more details, I'll let you know, but just worth noting, still seeing some Strait of Hormuz stuff here today, guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adaria. You know another that's really good for biceps, but a lot of people don't even think about it. They think about it for back. Close grip chin-ups, because your biceps are in that contracting position.
I do them for them, exactly.
For buys?
So like if I'm hitting back and buys, I'll do you can hit
As
both. Yeah, exactly. You can hit both of them, right?
Yeah,
like, and you can focus a little bit more on the actual, on the buy side.
Yeah, you just have to be kind of like in this grip, right? You can do neutral grip as well, which is good for the brachial radialis.
Exactly. Like, boom, and squeeze that bicep.
Yeah, it's a good lift. You lift, Brosif, Office Depot. Your boy Brosif lifts up a storm. My boy.
What kind of question? Don't ever insult me like that again when we hit this stone call.
The market moves like the waves.
Whoa, hey. You're like, I'll let you hit it there.
Oh, here we go. I didn't hit that. I didn't hit that. But that was cool. I'm not gonna lie. I like that one.
Hold on, my turn now.
Yeah.
You have the option to like and subscribe. This trade is unlimited upside.
Love it. Love the energy, man. All right, guys, I don't like anything right now. Nothing is setting up in the way that I like. So if you want for me to look at some of the names for you, just throw them in the chat, tag me so that I see that red rectangle there and know exactly what's going on. But I'm not liking anything. Nothing for me is setting up at the moment, not SST, not TRT, not TZOO, not EUDA. Burrow obviously disappointed me a little bit. Mike P. D. Ryder, PAPL getting close to that buck break. Let's have a look at Papal. I'm going to say Papal, but that's kind of disrespectful. So, PL. Oh, good call out there, Mike. Yes, Mike, this is going to work its way back. I had this one on, and then I took it off. So I'm going to take off SST because I don't think that's a good one, Bovin. Sorry, I love you, but I don't like it. So we're going to keep this one here. So that buck break is coming in, but you know what I'm looking at, Mike? You know, because I know you watch. 4:40 a.m., 105 high. I'd love to be above that pre-market high. But I do like this, man, because we haven't given up the majority of the move. This one broke out in the afternoon at around 4:30. Typically, if the news is, you know, BS, we're going to sell back off. We might even go back to 60, which was the closing print yesterday at around 4 o'clock, I should say. So let's see if we can get back above. The fact that we were covered in this way off 72.5 into almost $1, I do find very, very good. So good call out by Mike. You had a Bovin saying the same thing. Bovin said PAPL as well. Shout out to my man. I am big deal. Love the name. Absolutely love the name. He's got first person or main character syndrome.
Who?
You ever heard that?
Who does?
The guy in the chat, I am big deal. I like that. I like that name. First character syndrome. Let's have a look at Lulu. Lulu is, I'm quite disappointed. This is the, oh my days, Joey.
What's up, brother?
Joey.
Yes, sir.
This isn't real. This is a real chart? Joey.
Who is that, Lulu?
I keep going. We're 72.25% off the highs on Lululemon. Oh my, as you'd say, Lanta. Let's go to the
Why would you ever buy a retail stock?
Dude, this is a good company, and they make good clothes, man. This is so sad. We are almost at March 2020 lows. The low there is 128.84. We're at 143 and change here. Where is Lulu? Sorry, it's not loading for whatever reason here. Lulu's at 143.70. Oh my days. What do I tell you about this? I mean, there's nothing for me to say. Positive, that is. We're getting a flat bottom break. That flat bottom break was 160. Take a look at that. A lot of defending at 160 to 165. We've lost that, right? Now we're down into 140 something, 144. Yeah, this is certainly not for me. Perhaps at $100. I'd be looking first at the COVID era lows, 125. And then if it doesn't hold up there, I'm looking at $100. I really, this thing is SSR, man. It's down 11.9.
Let's go through a couple more retail names. Pull up the.
You want to look at Nike? Because they hired that Nike woman.
Yeah, let's pull up Nike.
All right. So hold on. What do we say this one was off the highs, Joey? 72.2%.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
NKE.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and do it live. Oh, wow. They're both as bad as each other.
Yeah.
Who's worse here? 77 and a third. Oh no, I cheated a little bit. Let me move that up to the current price action.
Yeah.
74.75% off the highs.
Yeah.
I have nothing positive to say.
ANF. What's ANF doing?
ANF. What? It's not a good chart, but it's not nearly as much. 53%.
How about Urban Outfitters? UBRN.
I don't even know what that is.
UBRN, I believe.
BR? No, that's
no UBRN.
Sorry.
Yeah.
UBRN.
Yeah.
My bad. I can't type, Joey. UBRN. No, it's not.
No?
Not, yeah.
Or is okay, it's URBN.
I can put.
Yeah, it's
URBN?
Yeah,
Okay.
URBN.
URBN?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Let's have a look. Oh. This is as good as it gets here in terms of retail. This is a bull flag continuation. No, you're killing me, bro. All right. $60. Oh, this is beautiful holding of structure here. This is URB. Good call, Joe. URBN. This is the good one, man. If you're looking for retail, clothing, obviously, this is decent. Look at the $60 double bottom, holds a key area of prior resistance. You're clearly getting resistance at 80. Sometimes we wick up above into like 84, but most of the prints are rejecting that 80. You've got a range here. In my humble submission, this is a bull flag. The breakout starts from around the low 40s, and the high is about, as we mentioned, mid to low 80s. This is a buy off $60, and you know, unless it rejects.
What time is it?
At it's okay. It's okay. You know, she's Queen Ram Ram. $80. You sell in and around there. We love you, Ram Ram. We were just saying we were happy that you
down like,
you
yo,
came,
who you
right?
even talking to?
What? We don't want you to be gone.
Where you going?
So don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. She's threatening us, Joey.
Yeah, bro. I got the like.
Saw that?
You ever see that? Like it's like you say something to somebody and they turn around like, "What did you just even say to me?"
Yeah, she said that. She gave you that look?
Absolutely.
She's a vicious person.
Yeah,
eh?
you
gotta be careful.
All right, guys.
We got a super.
We got a super chat. We'll get into the super chat right here.
That's crazy. We need a little bit more than that, Joey.
What do you mean?
We need a couple of more, man.
There's no way, man.
Watermelon, pineapple, mango.
There can only be one.
I know, but we need a couple of more options.
What, grapes?
No, I wouldn't put grapes
Okay,
on there.
well,
Not
give me
for
one.
Orange? You don't like an orange?
Bro, it's not a goat fruit. We'll remove that right
I
away.
like orange.
We're removing that option.
I'll eat
Who put the
oranges more
pineapple
than I
there?
eat watermelon.
Ramin, man. How did you do that, Ramin? Oh, someone put the smiley face there. All right. Anyway, start the voting. Let's see what we got going on here.
One for watermelon.
One for watermelon. 2 for pineapple.
Why did you put?
I didn't. Someone keeps changing it on me.
I think it's Fabian.
Yeah, it is Fabian.
Definitely
It is
Fabian.
definitely
He's got it
Fabian.
up there. Yeah.
And then
Fabian's
mango
the
with the
culprit,
sleeper.
bro. Look at
5.
Fabian,
Whoa!
bro.
I gotta go 3 here. Did you vote, Sharif?
I didn't yet.
Wow,
I'm gonna have to
pineapple's-
go ahead and say I'm gonna go
Cantaloupe is
watermelon.
crazy.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go watermelon. So that's kind of how that's going. How are we doing there?
Man,
Who's winning?
pineapple
Pineapple.
right now, yeah.
Look,
Oh,
pineapple's a
close.
big number 2 for me too.
Is it, eh?
Mango? I'm gonna say
not,
I
it's
love
not there.
mango, but you can get really crappy mangoes.
You can get really
Yeah,
crappy mangoes.
and so
There's
even when
two
they're
different-
in season.
There's the high fiber one,
Yes.
right? And then there's the ones that are like gel.
Question
Those are
for
the best ones.
Do you find it annoying that the hairs get stuck in your teeth?
If you get the high fibered ones, but if you get the gel styled
How are you
ones,
gonna know without opening though?
because there's a style. No. There's a style. Trust me, I'm a mango expert.
That's what I'm listening.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
listening.
There's a feel and there's a label on where they come from. So darker
Oh.
label in the middle of the summer, you'll get those gel style ones. But also, if it's really
Good,
green
yeah.
and red, that's when you have the high fiber.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good
With the
call.
red bottom, high fiber. Mango taking the lead. Let's go. But watermelon up there, man. Good stuff there, guys. No, try mango called Enfilagio from India. They are sick. Sia, maybe Sia might know about those ones.
What are they called? Oh, Indian mangoes are amazing.
Yeah,
they're known in
a
Egypt.
lot of mangoes are good. Yeah, the hair gets stuck.
They're actually quite well known.
Yeah, so all right, guys, this is a pretty good one here. I mean, SMR heading right back towards the lows. 1296. See, is getting ready to chime in here, essentially. But 1296, can we break the lower end of the range? So essentially, what we have going on is a stair-step style pattern with that initial strong leg to the downside. We curl over, and I'm like, all right, this is going to be our opportunity to re-engage, take that additional move, and then sure enough, what we have here is the strength into the downside. So I like this. Am I going to play this bottom break, the shelf that's being formed in Bitcoin? I think at some point, if we're fortunate enough to catch an additional pullback, there might be a potential move back into the volume-weighted average price here on IBIT. So we like this. We'll continue to monitor. We'll keep our eye on Bitcoin for the move back in. And then we also have the NASDAQ and the SPY, which got pretty close. USO hovering around there, but the SPY fell right into view up and still hovering above that neck of the woods. So catch the higher end of the range. Not too bad of a look there. Oh my God, this is driving me nuts.
Let me cover the super.
Go ahead.
Shout out to Sam's 4871, dropping 10 nice ones in the chat. A big thanks to this fabulous team. Keep up with the work, guys. Respect for keeping an eye on and jump and dumps. I mean, jump and dumps. Actually, they're great call. Car. Trust the process, guys. Right. Finally, Sharif, show us your guns, man. Do it in the beginning of the show sometimes, but let's take a look at Car, man. Let's see what Car's up to. I just can't believe this move here. That's the weekly look. Let's look at the 5. Yeah, Car still bleeding, finding some. This could be another entry short here on Car. $27. It just got back into the 10. Topping tail candle, current bar failing the low of the prior candle on the 5. Sorry, let me just load up Car here. This is short still restricted, obviously, so you're going to have to get in on the uptick. It is down 50% on the day. Did you even see what was going on? It's
With
these
Car?
2 hedge funds.
Yeah.
You know about that whole
we
thing?
read
Okay,
about that, yeah.
you know about it.
It's
All
just
right.
like rug pull. I had the feeling that I was going to get that rug pull.
Well, they only got into it, the hedge funds, because they saw the ridiculous short float. And so they're like, okay, here's a money-making opportunity. And then they're out, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
you
that's
just dump
not
everything.
illegal for them to do it. It's
I wonder how
That's
much
what it
money.
is.
So some of those boys are getting major bonuses this year.
Oh yeah. That's how that
Major.
world works as well too. Big bonus world. All right, PAPL. This is looking fantastic, Mike. This is looking fantastic, Bovin. Papel, PAPL on the way to the dollar, and what a recovery. This one didn't look like it was going to be one of the ones that we would be focusing on during the afternoon, just based upon the fact that it was a sell all day, used VWAP, in fact, earlier on around 9 a.m. As resistance, attempted again a breach of VWAP at around 9:30, and that was the real big failure there. And there it goes through one, Joey. Let's load up PAPL on the trading screen. Now this could be in play here. Hope it's on the NQ. It's not. This is another Amex stock. Yet another one that is automatically on probation because on the exchange off which it trades. There it goes, guys. Okay, just to give you some technicals here. The 440 AM high is 105. And that breached the prior high from yesterday. So some resistance now coming in here. Look, if we breach 105, this is going to rip. It's a 104 technical high now on PAPL. So it doesn't quite breach the pre-market high, but pretty close to it. So I'm going to keep an eye out on this one, especially since the pickings are slim, quite frankly, on the day. There was some really good ones to start the show, but they've really died down since then. So people are saying SKLZ halted up. Another one moving here, Joey, that I didn't have notice of. Thank you guys for pointing this one out. SKLZ, call this skills. Yeah, there it is. Nice halt up 66%. Let's load this one. Let's put the ticker on there. SKLZ, Z for my American friends. And there it is into the high of the day. Is this going to halt? All right, let's load this up as well. TRT, we're going to leave on there. SKLZ, SKLZ. Let me guess. Amex? No, I was wrong. NQ? Wrong. NY? Right. Okay. So it's halted. We won't know what the halt. We won't know the tap because it's on the NYSE. You can only see the tap on the NASDAQ. 612. That's what we halted at. Halt time 12:31:26. So the earliest we'll open is 12:36:26. Let's see how long it takes this one to open. But yeah, this is a very good one. So is PAPL. Definitely going to keep an eye out on those. I am big deal. Joe, Sharif, did you ever settle the AEO bet? Oh, we did. And it's all over, my boy. All right, SST broke 370, says Bovin. I took that one off, Bovin. I'm going to take off TZOO now because that is losing view up. Good call, Bovin. Okay, so now the small caps are starting to pick up here. We have PAPL, we have SKLZ, we have SST. So all these ones are moving, and they're looking pretty good. Bovin, this is what I was trying to tell you. Above 370 on SST, and this one's on its horse here. And could be, geez, Louise, how many Amex names are there today? NYSE. Oh, my days. Oh, my days. Nothing's on the NASDAQ today. This is what I was telling Bovin. I'm like, it has to break this area right here, and now it is breaking it. Let's see if it does it decisively, Bovin, or if we're just going to get a wick above 370 and then lose the bid. So I'm going to pack the patience here, especially since we have a $4 high, right? So if your bias is we clear 375 and we're on our way to 4, then you have a little bit of room. Right now, we're getting a bit of a sell, dropping down into the 70 penny level. Let's see if we get bought up. But some good looks here. IRE as well, which is a 2 times leverage ETF for IREN, curling up and about, I want to say 50, 60 pennies off the high. So there is some stuff coming back here. We're going to have to keep an eye on all of them. Let's put SKLZ instead of Repel, SKLZ, so we can have a quick look at when this one opens. So, Joey, a lot of new names just made it onto the side chart here. I was complaining that there wasn't enough to trade, but coming in pretty quickly.
Yeah, good stuff, man. As the market is heading lower, I'm thinking about we're at the top end of the range here on Bitcoin, so the risk to reward is there for a potential long. But we're going to get prepared to take a little bit more off here on SMRs. It's establishing a new low of the day. So, I mean, this thing's been rocking and rolling for us here. An all-day trender. I love it when we just have to sit in one position for the majority of this of the day, and that's my style. You find it, you get the right entry, and it allows you to just ride these trends, and it can be pretty fun. All right. I mean, things were tough. Things are the market's starting to turn, and we want to start to take advantage of it a little bit more.
Oh, wow. It's going to halt up.
Want to talk
Skills
about
is
it?
going to halt up again. Guys, Skills is ripping. Up 82, almost 83%. I just tried to get in. I couldn't get in. It just ripped past my entry. Current bar low, 612. Current bar high, the halt level, 673. Again, we're not going to know what the tap is on this one because it's a NYSE stock. Halt time, 12:37:12. Earliest will be open, 12:42:12. Be on the lookout here. Skills is ripping up, and there's a lot of volume supporting this rip up. We just started printing the volume bars. I want to say at around 12:20, 12:25. We've already done 2.5 million shares. This thing was doing almost no volume, 10:30 to 11. No volume coming in until that 12 o'clock bar. So this is probably something to do with a news item here at 12. So we'll just take a quick look now that it's halted. You can kind of get a better idea.
Yes, Nick Diaz. Oh, you already
circuit
voted
breaker, circuit breaker. Not seeing anything from today, man. What the hell? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything here, guys. This is multiple halter too. I don't see anything from today, but the breakout was clearly at 12. And it paused at 12:02 because that's when I got the pause due to volatility. Okay, well, it is what it is, but I have no news on this one. I have no idea why it's moving, but sometimes it doesn't really matter. When they're halting like this, I kind of want to get the idea of why, but okay. SST failing that $0.75 breach, now dipping back in. Let's see if it gets bought up here and moseys back up. SST's spread is also quite wide. Look at that. It was just in the 60s. Now it's back into the high 70s. What the hell is going on here? So current bar low is on SST 63. You get in here, you give it to current bar low, or you give it to 60, that 10 penny level. I'll think that one through. Meanwhile, we're sending you to Adair.
All right.
Time to take a look here at USO once again, getting some comments from the Foreign Ministry spokesperson of Iran saying that transferring highly enriched uranium is not an option for them, but reducing its concentration is apparently an option on the table. So I guess some potential options here for how to handle the enriched uranium situation coming from the Foreign Ministry of Iran, specifically their spokesperson. Now, this also is interesting because we had comments earlier today from a Pakistani diplomat, I believe, basically saying that in order for there to be some kind of negotiations, either the U.S. or Iran, and both are going to have to make some kind of concessions. Seems like Iran could be trying to make some concessions here. If I get more details, more context, or more color, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Son of Daniel, thank you for that. So Skills just won a $420 million lawsuit. Well, that would just make a lot of sense now, wouldn't it? I'm not seeing that on my blotter, though. Thank you for putting that in there. But, I mean, I'm not getting it at all. I'm getting a bunch of different items on my blotter. Most of them have to do with the fact that it's halted and circuit breaker this, blah, 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 that. Oh, here. What is this? Ah, thank you. I missed that one. You think they'd make this one a bit more apparent. Papaya Gaming Limited was found liable for false advertising Thursday and ordered by a jury to pay $420 million in damage to its mobile gaming rival Skills platform. The jury also awarded $652 million in disgorgement. Ew. I'm pretty sure disgorgement means punitive damages. That's a great headline that fundamentally changes their balance sheet. So SKLZ needs to be in focus here. It is on the NYSE. It is ripping up. It is up 82%. And it just started coming in the volume that is at 12 o'clock. I'm assuming when they got the jury verdict. So we're watching this one. Look, sometimes these ones, they have a bit of a relief drop, right? Where people are taking profit. So we're not rocketing up all at one time. 12:37:12. That's the halt time, meaning that will be open at the earliest at 12:42:12. It is currently 12:41:10. So we have almost a minute here, Joey.
Yeah.
I'm also in here. What's it called? In SST, I'm looking for the hold of prior bar low, which is 63. I'm looking for a move up into the 80s and 90s. We're going to give this one the old college try, but I really want to focus, though, the most on SKLZ, especially with that headline. What do you got?
Absolutely, man. We're just piecing some out here on SMR. I'm posted up on IBIT to see if we can catch a fill at the top end of the range. I don't know if we're going to catch that as it's starting to move to the downside, but nonetheless, I'm not going to be chasing it at 41s. We want the 48s. Drastically increase the risk to reward. Additional leg lower, we'll post up to take a little bit more off on there. Sitting on 5%, that will put us around 2.5 after this partial, and we're just letting it ride here on the day. I mean, boom, initial short right out of the gate, 5 minute all the way to the downside. We allow this curl over to come in, and then bang, we add some more, we just get back into full position, and then off to the races SMR goes, giving back the majority of its gain from the past couple of sessions. So a pretty good look there as the market's continuing to climb. This consolidation that we got on Bitcoin, this shelf, is just screaming.
It's open. It's ripping. It's going to halt again. Oh, my days. It's going to halt again into 740. This is ridiculous,
Dude, the exact same thing happened in AIXI. So they won a lawsuit, that small cap name that I was trading while you were gone. And then sure enough, it just went nuts after.
Was Casey involved in that one?
I don't know if Casey was involved in that one, but I was involved in it, so we were involved in it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Casey, if you're in the chat, are you looking at this woman? Like, Are you watching this? This is like right down your alley, okay? So if you're there, tag me because I want to know what your move is on this. What are you thinking? Bovin, are you looking at this? What are you thinking about this? I need some opinions here because this is ripping up, man. This is a huge reward. We're talking about almost $1 billion here if it actually gets paid. Here's the headline again, man. Where the hell did I find it? Stupid. Here it is. So $420 million in damages and $652 million in disgorgement. So that's a lot of money. So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this. If you guys are looking at this, what's your move on this? What a rip up. This is being reported by Bloomberg as well. And if you're looking for the actual report, here it is. You can copy and paste that link. But Bloomberg, because they're so good, they're behind a paywall. But if you know about Archive, well, then you know. I won't say any more than that.
All right. Yeah, I mean, Sheriff looks like... Oh. Gotta read things in my head before I read them out loud.
Can't please everybody, my
you
boy.
can't. Yeah, that's unfortunately, Sharif. That is the world that we live in. Anyways, SMR, we catch that fill at that level. We're getting back towards the top end of the range here on Bitcoin. That's exactly what we're looking for. I'm just gonna let the rest of this ride. I might even mock it, to be honest with you. I'm not going to, but it wouldn't be a horrible idea. I just think. I mean, we're 40 cents. We're 25, 40 cents almost, or 35 cents in the money. So, I mean, it could rebound aggressively, but the amount of shares that I have on, it wouldn't do anything. All right? So, moving forward, let's head back in towards our watch list here, guys. NVDA, we'll go through the top names. We can always start from the bottom. We go over these plenty, all right? From the bottom. XLF. Oh my God, this thing can't get out of its own way right now.
What happened?
It's driving me nuts. The financials, dude. They're just not performing well right now. I think once things start to cool down, eventually we'll see them just grind higher into new all-time highs. IBM was getting destroyed this morning and holding up at a key structure. Like, I mean, from a monthly standpoint, this is a big-time sentiment change, all right? So we're on the backside of this trend, and then now we're holding up 221 here. All right, Palantir was selling around those lows. Some of the software names continuing to get clipped, and that is Palantir down 30-something+%. When we've seen Robinhood start to recover. All right, now coming back in a little bit, but this primary downtrend has started to be breached, and that's what we want to look for. Okay, moving forward, SoFi, dead money. We're not going to go over that one. CoreWeave was strong yesterday. Is it strong today? Not necessarily. So you're seeing the pullback within tech. The ADRs, we can take a look at Pinduoduo. Absolutely getting destroyed. Man, these might be some pretty good shorts at some point. McDonald's got an upgrade yesterday, but not doing too much. Again, I'm kind of happy about that. But anyways, 11.7%. Yeah, I don't like McDonald's, man. And JPM, let's go over some of these banks. Like JPM still holding up. Downtrend broken, right? Like we have these consecutive lower highs. We sit on the backside. And then now we're only about 5% off of that high. Right, 7% to be exact. Okay, so not too bad. UNH also holding up, all right? So UNH putting in a couple of strong sessions. This is what you want to see.
Friends still holding those calls?
Oh, I don't think so.
No, you'd been printing up 7.
Those expired a long time ago.
Yeah. He was
a long time ago. Is he holding other ones? No, I think with considering
now, right?
I don't know if it's a great. Do you think it's a great buy up here? I don't know if it is. Obviously, you want to get the better price. But as for everything else, I think he's a little bit cool on things right now.
Fair.
Yeah. Rightfully so. I haven't even made a swing trade this year, to be honest with you.
Really,
Yeah, I haven't even in my personal account, which is kind of abnormal. But anyways, nonetheless, Walmart, 132. Yes. All right, Sharif, before we send it back to you, if you guys know who Kip Dynamite is, yes. Then sure enough. Let's head over. I mean, this is a monstrous recovery. What am I looking for there? The tracker. So, I mean, I'm probably falling. Oh, we're back into fifth. Sharif, you're sliding here in the portfolio. You're in the portfolio tracker. Sean sitting in second. Whatever, man. That's crazy. This guy was in dead last, now sitting in second place.
Marvell?
Yeah, it's all Marvell, really. So that's all he is, man. He's just I can't call my boy that, but he had Palantir and he had Marvell this year just helping him lead the race. But nonetheless, I mean, we'll sit in that. Randy, I don't even know how he got up in here, but we should be in fourth. Yeah, 12% back on Walmart, and then we have JPM starting to climb a little bit higher and CrowdStrike too. But it's just one here. Like, you're down 40%. Like, get that garbage out of here. Big Bear AI down 40%.
Come on, let me in, bro. I'm punching the keys. For crying out loud, man. Unreal.
You have to mark it on open now.
No, man, no. I use my hotkeys. I have it set up properly. It didn't even put up the order on the screen. There was no line on the freaking screen. Unbelievable. So, anyway, just get off me and go to Joe.
All right, we'll go.
So stupid.
Anyways, yeah, so Sean, once again, Palantir and then Marvell. This guy, single names working. Working for him. Ramin, now's not the time, man. It's a little bit too early for that. But anyways, now as for Tesla, starting to come back in.
You're an idiot, bro.
Right,
it's
yeah.
like timing, man. Like, just think about what you're saying.
Who, me?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, I didn't really say anything. But anyways, SMR, IBIT, starting to hover. We might catch a potential fill, but Tesla, not doing too much here, guys. So, I mean, the market's starting to fall into chop mode. We had a headline release, and then sure enough, this is exactly what we're getting at. I'm going to wait for this breakdown. I think at some point the shelf will be breached. There's a key support level, and we're just hovering around that. I don't know if we take that additional leg higher, considering the primary trend is there. I have to take that into factor and use a really tight stop. It's only going to have a couple of cents. So now we're printing new lows here on SMR. Let's take a little bit more off there, Shree.
So hold on for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
doing
Take a breath. Take your time. I can ramble on. I'm gonna remove this actual bid on IBIT just because I'm not in love with it right now. Actually, no, I'm not. No, we're not gonna be scared around here. I did put on more size, about 2.5 times more than what I have on the SMR for the potential catch of the higher end of the range here on IBIT. Appreciate you, Juno Show. But you also said that the mangoes have more than me, which is crazy. I remember, people don't forget, all right? No, nonetheless, Riley R5000, what's going on? I mean, like, this session and what we've seen over the past couple of days has been a lot revolving around USO and some of the other names. Boom, continuing to climb higher. Breath, you have a breakdown, but then sure enough, we start to climb a little bit on today's intraday session.
I screwed up. It's on the NYSE. That key was for the NASDAQ.
Bro,
that's why I'm like sitting there cursing the program, and it's me who's the idiot. All right, we're gonna have to set this up because that's not gonna happen again.
There you
All
go.
right,
Yeah,
just allow me just a minute just to set it up, bro. Yeah.
Are you trying to go? No, I want to play the breakdown. So let me pull this up. We'll take some more off on SMR, right? Let's take a little bit more off on SMR. Friendly reminder that the U.S. is tapping the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to keep the oil prices from skyrocketing. Only a matter of time, in my opinion. Thank you very much for that. So here it is. I'll tell you what my game plan is. I could be totally wrong. I see what you have to say, Mr. P Panda. I'll touch on that momentarily. But first things first, I want to get into my game plan and why I'm posted up at the higher end of the range here at $44.48 on IBIT. All right, this shelf, and what we can see is we're slowly getting weaker and weaker, failing to establish new highs, time and time again. I mean, something can step in and we squeeze. It could be an additional liquidity grab, but I like the weakness into the downside, okay? So you're just having that slope, and we talk about wedges being formed, and I think that's gonna be the case here in IBIT. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. That's the case. That's the narrative of a lot of it. But I'm going to take the swing. We're in a good position today. We've been trading SMR all day, and it's been an all-day trender. We're happy about that. But I mean, when we're rolling, I think I want a little bit more. You fixed your key now?
It was there.
It was there.
I made another mistake by thinking that I hadn't set it up. It's there. I don't know why it didn't trigger, but it didn't trigger. So that's what it is, guys. Somebody was telling me in the chat that there was resistance at around 9. Let me just look at that real quick over there. Gotham House was saying if you look at the weekly, 910 is the resistance. So I think if it breaks, that we would ride higher to around 15. Let's do a little TA while this one's halted. 48.02 is the halt time. It's 52. So we have another minute before this one opens up, assuming, of course, it's going to be a 5-minute halt. SKLZ is just ripping. LZ over here. Let's go to the weekly quickly. Get a quick look. Okay. Fantastic. I see exactly what you're talking about, Gotham House. Good call out by you, brother. We're a lot higher than this, but we did have a 1-to-20 split back, I think, in mid-2023, so it could be a little bit convoluted. But, yeah, expect some possible resistance as at that 9 area, 9 to 950. Reason I say that as well, that's where the 200 simple moving is as well. So it could find some local areas of resistance. Let's see if this one opens up. 52.45. So this one could open up 53.02. So that's what we're looking for there. 53.02. Where are we at? We're about 10 seconds away from that. So let's take a quick look, see what the initial price action is going to be on this one. Then we can kind of decide whether we want to punch in. So SKLZ now up 138%. It's open. It's blowing through 9. Look at that. Let's just see if it drops. It's not even holding up, man. It's not even holding up. This is ridiculous. 1049. It's going to halt up again. Unbelievable. 184%. I don't think that $9 area has anything to do with anything at this point, guys. Ripping up about 184.75% right now is SKLZ. Again, they won a close to, if not more than, $1 billion reward when you look at the cumulative total given by the jury. Unbelievable move here. Son of Daniel, just between between us girls, skills feels like a trip to the moon. $1 billion is a biblical amount of money for a company this small. I couldn't agree, and I think that's why we're seeing. I couldn't agree more. Sorry, and that's why we're seeing the price action we're seeing at the moment with 1048 halt. It's just I was looking for a little bit of a dip just to buy it, but now I don't think that that's going to be the move. Look, if I get into this and I get caught in a down halt, I'm just going to work through it because right now this is a $163 million market cap. Obviously. Right, I think we could probably see a little bit more. This could be a ridiculous name on the day, 500-600%, and I've seen tickers reach 500-600% for less, much less than $1 billion reward. Now, I think the practical side should come in at some point, and is how quickly or what's the likelihood that they get all $1 billion. That's another thing to keep in mind there, because obviously you assume that the losing party is going to at least appeal the damage, the quantum of damages, if not the verdict itself. So that's another thing to keep in mind from a practical sense. But this is what the chart looks like, guys, on SKLZ. It is unbelievable. There is one red candle there on the 5 at 12.15. And if you're looking like, well, Sharif, well, why isn't this trading in the pre-market? It did nothing in the pre-market. In fact, it had like hundreds of shares traded all the way up until right at 12 o'clock when the algos read that news article released by Bloomberg, and then it's just ripped up and it's been all gas, no brakes. So that's something to look out for there. Also, PAPL coming back into VWAP. It lost the $1 attempt to breach that level, getting to about 104. The high, though, as we spoke about, is about 105. That's from the pre-market, so nothing doing there. SST, I got forced out of that one. I did get a beak wetter into 82, but it lost trend, lost prior bar low. If it holds up at the 10 EMA and gives me another prior bar high, a breach of prior bar high at around 369, I get back into this one. But for the moment, I'm going to stay clear of that. Very much need to focus on SKLZ because this could be, like a month maker. So going to focus on that, Joey. What do you got?
No, Lulu, man. Did you take that? I hope the same thing for you, my friend. So you can just do whatever you would like in life. But yeah, there it goes, man. We were talking about the short in Bitcoin and that shelf that was being formed, and then off to the races. I wasn't gonna chase it in the middle of this range, right? Considering maybe we should have, but that's hindsight, and we'll accept it for what it was. When you see a support system like that, and I think Neil. I heard Neil talk about this on a couple of occasions. It's just that, like, you have that just shelf. It's almost to a penny. You see buyers just stepping back in, and then eventually it gives way. So it's just like something hovering. Opposed to other price action where you have the ebb and flow. It's like, okay, we're higher. You come back, retest the low. You climb a little bit higher. You put in a new, retest that previous pivot high, and so on and so forth. But that wasn't the scenario that happened here. It was just that shelf being formed. Catch the top end of the range, and you can get that breakdown back into towards the volume-weighted average price. So that was a missed opportunity on our behalf. It is what it is. We'll wait for another one. The monthly, even better. Let's see. Pathic, hey, bro, found a new semi-stock on. It's on fire. Check the weekly. Yeah, I believe they received an upgrade this morning. I put it on the list. But, yeah, on semi, let's take a look at that one for you, my guy. Whoa. Yeah. I mean,
all these
let's
ones ripped
go.
as well.
They're
MCHP
all
as
ripping,
well
dude.
ripped. Yeah.
$55. So you're almost getting a double up right there in on semi. Nice call out there, Pathak. This thing has been monstrous, even on today's intraday session. Even a whole week of just steady trading. We've seen this within the chip space, like even Intel. So we talk about the chip trade being dead. Like, what are we even talking about here? Intel went on that big time run, Sharif. You remember that one last week? And then we have on semi.
Another 4.25 today.
Pardon me?
Another 4.25.
Another
today.
4, AMD, right? AMD going on, and then like,
another 2 today.
Exactly.
Ripping through 300.
And then we're gonna sit here and talk about the Marvells, but Sean, that guy is up 100% essentially on those Broadcoms. But what we haven't seen is NVDA participate in this insane rally.
No.
I think at some point we will see a rotation, and then I know like it's like, hey, all these other names are running, but at the end of the day, it will have its time, right? Every dog has its day, as they typically say, and I think it's a matter of time until we've seen that about Marvel. Yeah, Sean would definitely want me to talk about Marvel. That guy. Oh, by the way, guys, it might be me tomorrow. Sean's got a late flight, so sorry to disappoint everyone.
He just text you?
No, we found it on the inside. But I said, hey, man, if that...
Bro, I can't believe this. I can't chase it. I offset by over $1.
Bro, why don't you
by over $1.
Mark it on open it, no?
No, I don't want to mark it, man, because if in case it goes down, I need it to
limit
see it go up at
did
least.
you limit on open?
No, I can do that. I can do both. But I just need to see the trend. That's all. This thing was halted at 10:40. Okay, I put an offset of 11:30.
I think you have to limit on open. That might
It
be.
won't let me in. Yeah, I think that's the only way. Unreal. Yeah, but this makes sense given the amount of money that they're getting, bro.
Someone gives, I mean, not just going to keep Joe. Yeah, Jim, I love all of you guys. No, but I said to Sean, Sean, I don't care if that flight arrives in Toronto at 6 a.m. That gives you 1.5 hours to get to the office, get through customs, and get your rear end on the desk. No, I'm with
Get your rear end to the desk. Get it, Joey. Another $5 super chat. Traveling trader, I'm assuming. Just gonna look here. Traveling trader. Shout out to the man there. Thank you very much. Please show the news on SKLZ again. Yes, absolutely. You ask, you get. Just trying to find it right there. Let's zoom in so you can kind of see it. Retry. Okay. It won't let me zoom in, so you'll have to read it here. Papaya Gaming Limited. This is the party that lost the lawsuit. They were found liable for false advertising Thursday and ordered by a jury to pay $420 million in damages to its mobile gaming rival Skills Platform Incorporated, the ticker which is, of course, SKLZ. The jury also awarded $652 million in disgorgement. If you're looking for the actual article itself, it is released by Bloomberg. There is the URL. You can kind of just pause and do a screenshot and use the tool there to copy the text, or just search up for it. But it's being this news item is coming from Bloomberg. So, yeah, the market not really caring about the source, quite frankly, because this thing is just ripping up here. What you're looking at too, Neil? Hold on, yeah, get in, Neil. Here you go.
What's he got going on?
All right, Neil's coming in. He's got things to say about Skills. He found something there. So I want to hear what he's found, because this is it's got my attention, baby. I'll tell you that. 1231 halt level, Neil.
All right. First things first. Someone said in the chat that's a biblical amount of money because it works out to like $1 billion. Yeah. Has anybody actually checked to see how big Papaya is?
They're not going to get the money.
I'm guessing no, because when you look these guys up, it's like they're privately funded, and the last funding round I can find is in 2021, and they'd raised a total of $4.7 million.
It could be insurance, though.
In 6 months. Oh, I'm
insurance
getting it. There could be insurance, as Sharif just pointed out. But you think they're getting that money? I'm not saying it can't go higher.
That's fair, man. That's a great point.
They're not even close to that big. They're not.
Anyways,
make sure you keep that in mind, because getting the billion seems pretty crazy.
We have to go to Adair.
I have a report here from Arabiya that President Trump will be attending a meeting between the ambassadors of Lebanon and Israel at the White House. This is likely why this is happening, though we also have reports that Israel is continuing to violate the ceasefire at Lebanon. We have these reports coming out at the exact same time. USO pushing higher worth noting as well, we got this 5-year tipped auction, unclear how it compares to prior, but auction on watch as well as conflicting reports in the Middle East. So just to break that down yet again, I had a report here about 45 seconds ago, Israel continuing to violate the ceasefire in Lebanon as reported by Mayor News, citing Lebanese sources. Then we've got Al Arabiya reporting that President Trump is going to be attending a meeting between the Lebanese and Israeli ambassadors at the White House. If I get more details or other headlines, I will keep you posted.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. All right, we're keeping a close eye here on SKLZ. So the halt time, 12:58.50. That was the last print coming in on the dark pools, but I think that's fine. So current time, 12:03. So we've got about 50 seconds before this one opens. So let's see what kind of move we get here. Shout out to my man, son of Daniel, dropping another 5 in the chat. Sharif, my man, just put in a market order. This thing isn't going down today. Definitely doesn't feel that way. But Neil does bring up a good point, right? Like, practically speaking, there's a number of issues here that we need to iron out. Do they have insurance? Number one. Number two, is there going to be an appellate level court that drops the quantum of damages? That's typically what is appealed. Usually you don't appeal the facts. You just appeal the actual damages being issued. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think that's probably a day 2, 3, 4, 5 play that we needn't concern ourselves with at the moment, because this is quite irrational in how it's trading. So we're going to keep an eye out on that. We have to go back to Adara.
Also worth noting, seeing reports from Israel's Channel 12 News that the parliamentary speaker of Iran, Galibaf, has resigned. Now, this is significant because he was posting on X a lot of updates here about the war, the conflict throughout. Again, Israel reporting, or Israeli news rather, reporting that the parliamentary speaker of Iran has in fact resigned. If I get more details or any confirmation, I will let you guys know he's resigning from the negotiating team following intervention from the Revolutionary Guards. If I get, again, more details, I'll keep you posted. But lots of Middle East headlines over the last, 3 minutes.
Bro, I don't have it set up, okay, for NYSE. I don't have that set up for NYSE. I have to go in and do it, right?
Okay, so how many times, okay, let me ask you, how many times have we halted?
You want the count?
Yeah. How many times have you tried to get in?
4.
So if they're 5-minute halts, you got 20 minutes
I'm going to do it now.
How many more times do you expect it?
So how many times have we halted? Up.
Yeah.
We haven't halted down once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. 10 halts, all up. I want to know what the record is.
You can't sell. You have to market. You have to mark it on open your sell, man. When it's doing that, it's so tough.
All right, I just thought I have to send it to you so I can set up my.
Set it up, set it up, my G.
And
just do it now, punch it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
And see what you got going on, just in case you get another. Watch it just halt down, right out of the.
Why are you like that, bro? Why don't you cheerlead a little bit,
I am cheerleading. I've been telling you 4 halts ago to set up the limit.
It takes time to set up the keys.
All right, set it up, man. Come on, let's go. Bitcoin continuing to sell. The market really, volume stepping right back in here, guys. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some more headline sensitivity stepping in. We'll piece some more off on SMR. I don't really know what else to say. This has been an absolute banger for us here today. We'll piece a little bit off. I wanted that IBIT trade, but that's not the case. So we sit in this. We'll be thankful. We'll hit that on multiple attempts. I mean, here it is. Are we going to bounce at this level? This is tempting. Gorb, don't tempt us with a good time. Volatility spike to the downside, starting to form some indecision prints. If we hold this candle, there might be a good opportunity for some form of a rebound here, a snapback. Same thing in Tesla. We're seeing it across the board here, my brother. So let's rock and roll and be prepared just in case we do have some stopping volume prints come in, and then we turn around here in the overall market and recover a lot of this volatility spike. Look at this 5-minute head and shoulder pattern on the SPY. Shoulder 1, shoulder 2, head, right? So keep an eye out on that there. This is really getting too much. Okay. Yeah, I don't really.
All right, set up, Joey. Right. Now I got.
It's set up.
Yeah.
That took you all of 35 seconds.
Yeah. Whatever, bro. All right, here we go.
Traveling. All right.
I'm gonna use limit.
You did limit?
I'm gonna use limit.
Yeah, do that. Why not, right? I will try that, Joe says, John. Yeah, that's what you have to do. If it's continuously doing that, all right. I believe in you, Sharif, says Ramin. Thank you. We all do.
There's no way.
Traveling trader. Neil, thanks. Thanks, that's exactly what I requested the article again. Papaya raised $100 million in 2021 and owns 2 very big gaming IPs. It's privately held. Thanks to you, Sharif, I just made $100K, still holding 9 shares, just squared 4K. There you go.
That's ridiculous. And it's 20 Canadian too, so we got a
100K CAD. So you made 100K CAD or USD, because those are 2 different numbers there,
Who cares, bro? That's still a lot of money,
I mean,
man. That's
it's
big
still,
money.
yeah, exactly.
That's
God bless
fantastic there. Okay, guys, halt time on SKLZ 13:04:12. Earliest it'll be open 13:09:12. Time 13:07:52. 53, okay? So that's what we're watching for there. Sorry, Sia, just give us a minute for this to resolve, and then we'll start the news. Yeah, quick. Yeah, I do realize it's about 8 after 1 right now. Just going to keep my eye on this one. Let's see what we get on this one, Joey, because it's all sorts of insane right now. I'm just going to send it to you so I can put it in orders, if that's all right. Yeah.
We're going to get ready to rock and roll here. I mean, it might be a little bit too early. I don't have any shares left. I could just do exactly what Sharif's doing and just mark it on close, where I would just hold the remainder of my position until the end of the day. I was thinking that we would get somewhat of a turnaround here in the Qs, but that doesn't seem to be the case, as we are about to breach some new lows. This is the missed op on my behalf today at that 44.38 hold. Now you're down about 30 cents off of that mark, so things are looking pretty bearish right now. A headline stepping in, USO to the top side, so keep an eye out on, guys. The headline sensitivity in full effect. There's USO, new HOD. Adara, talk to us.
There's more confusion over whether or not Galibaf, parliamentary speaker of Iran, has resigned. We know there's reports specifically coming out of Israel that there was pressure from the Revolutionary Guard that forced him to resign. Now we've got no indication, I guess, from Galibaf himself that he has resigned. So there's, I guess, a lot of confusion here as to whether or not this resignation has happened. That is the only news as of right now that I'm seeing. I'm also seeing some comments from Ming Chi Kuo, noted supply chain analyst, about why TerraFab chose Intel. He's saying that the reason TerraFab chose Intel is because there is, quote, a lack of real alternatives because TMC's capacity is basically locked in. So low-grade Intel this here from supply chain analyst Ming Chi Kuo.
Bro, I told you, man.
There goes skills, Joey, into the high. Boom.
It says you're still in it. Is that
I'm still holding the majority of the shares.
Okay, good, good. Yeah. Brother, I told you. Why did I get involved?
That was frustrating.
Yeah, well, we could have ended that a long time ago. You said no, you wanted to get in.
Look, is it in my nature to use these mock orders on the small cap gappers? I usually reserve that for the IPOs, but you make sense.
This is a different scenario.
You are right. I'm not even arguing here.
This is a different scenario.
Unreal, bro. Holy Sharif said everyone sells. Shut up, Mid Cornetto.
Yeah.
Why are you like that, bro? Unreal. All right, man. Let's see how this one does. This one's gonna be crazy. We're gonna put in a sell order as well, Joey, for the opening. Why? It's moving up, guys, because they won some lawsuit, almost $1 billion. Go ahead, Joe. Yeah. There you go, baby.
Sharif's got skills. We got new scale power, baby. We got the power here on SMR. An additional reload on this one as a continuing thing. Market falling all over. I was going to say something else, but we'll leave it at that. A nice additional entry here on SMR. The one trade of the day, man. Let's go. What's up with that? Oh, should I quarter zip that? This is a quarter zips, man. You guys know about the quarter zip team. Yeah, exactly. No, in all seriousness, man, good trade there. Nice trade there on skills. It's going to open. What's the tap on? Oh, is that Amex?
We don't. No, man. It's NYSE, so we're not going to know, and that's part of the. That's part of the fun.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're in or out of the money for 5 minutes, right? Like,
that's all right.
No idea, right?
Those are good times, man.
Those are good times.
Those are real good times.
Yo, your friend Jody is in on skills at $8.
What is it at right now?
79 cents. It's halted at 16.39.
Whoa.
Jody is printing up a storm. Get it, Jody.
Oh, diamond hands too.
Yeah. If I had
Jody.
Katina's board over there, I'd hit the diamond hands, but that's it's a big move.
All right, dinner's on Jody.
Dinner's on Jody. All right, Jody. Joey says dinner's on you. All right, guys, I put in, what's it called? A mock sell order, so we'll see what we get. I didn't put it for the full amount, mind you, so we'll see exactly what we get there.
What did you put in?
A mock sell order. This guy's so proud of himself. All right, here, let's go through some things here, Joey. 1309.29. That's the halt time, current time, 13:12:05. So the earliest also will be open is 13:14:29. Let's see what we get. Gotham House, I have 200 units at 736. That's all I could get. My man, that is big money, man. That is big money. You really need to be really happy there because that's a big trade. I'm hoping you print up multiple storms on your side. Sorry, Assassino. Lemon family, I slapped $1 over the second level when it was at $9. I got in at 11.11. I like that number, man. I like that number. I like the fact that you're well in the money there. Fantastic entry by you guys. Go ahead, man. Joey.
No, I should have took it off, and now it just tanked, and I went so heavy on size. Yeah, USO ripping. That's bad. We just give back a lot of our day on that one. Oh, man. Oh, we did, and then some. Off of this scalp on the NASDAQ. Wow. I knew I should, I should have taken it off. As I seen USO was coming in, I'm like, all right, we got a little bit of a pop. Came back into 47s. I'm like, all right, let's see. And then as soon as it cracked the low of the day, I just smashed some shares on that, thinking that, all right, maybe we get a play. But yeah, USO just absolutely ruining everything, giving back all of it on that one little trade there on TQQQs. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. We were swinging. It is what it is. But we take what was at 41. Oh, man.
Assassino, that's cold, brother.
20 cents like
that's
that.
Cold, Assassino.
Yeah, too early for that, Assassino.
Oh, my days.
Too early for that.
Yeah.
That's not good. Wow.
Keeping an eye here, guys. Still waiting for skills.
Are you kidding me?
You want to cover it?
No, no. I mean, there's nothing to cover at this point. Yeah.
16:39 halt level. Open time, earliest open time, 13:14:29. Current time, 13:14. Okay, so we have about 30 seconds, 29 seconds. Let's see what we get here. I've put in a sell mock order, so wherever really it opens up. It's showing me a tap of 18. Neil, why is this thing showing a tap on the NYSE? I don't understand what's happening. Why is it showing me a tap of 18, 17? There's a tap all of a sudden? What the hell-y? So here we go. So this could be dropping down now. About 5 seconds left or so. Let's see what we get on this. Hopefully it opens up on time, or otherwise it'll be 10 minutes. Continuing to watch. There's nothing opening here. This could be 10 minutes. There it is. Sell, 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 sell. Boom. It didn't sell. It didn't sell. It's not selling. It's not selling. There. Boom. All right. Good. That's a good trade. That's a good trade there. So I had to use my flatten key. It wasn't selling. I put a limit on, market on open, an MOO. But there it is. Yeah, that's a big win for me today. So that's gonna be the best day of probably the month, or for the last couple of months. So good look there. Happy with this trade. Obviously could have held a little bit more. If it was cooperating, I wouldn't have got out the entire thing. So the actual limit, the market on open order that I put was for not the full amount. But it wasn't letting me. I think I might have used the wrong key. But again, I'm gonna have to iron this out. These are keys that I don't use often, so look a little bit amateurish here, and that's not good. But this thing is ripping. This thing is absolutely ripping. 1870, halt level, halt time for everybody still involved in it. 13:14:52, current time, 13:15:35.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, what is this USO news? Like, what's going on with this headline stuff again? Can give me a refresher, Adara?
So it's all over the place. Like, we had a headline that, oh, there's going to be, more aggression here between Lebanon and Israel. Then immediately afterwards, we heard that there was going to be a meeting with Trump and officials here, ambassadors from Lebanon and Israel. Then we heard that we got a resignation here of the parliamentary speaker of Iran, Galibaf. Now, that's significant because Galibaf's been going on social media, but also he posted like 14 minutes before this rumor started. So the chances of actually having resigned are kind of low. So there's a lot of uncertainty. The market's confused, and oil is like, well, I guess I'll go higher. That's honestly as far as I can tell, Joe. Truthfully, it's so all over the place.
All right, yeah, thanks. Yeah, not good. Yeah, not good. I mean, we added some more on the potential bounce there, and it just looks like the momentum. I'm watching USO climb higher. So really, really bad trade there, guys. Not good, especially what we had going on in SMR. We had a significantly more amount of shares. If it rebounds now, then I don't really know what to say as USO is continuing to climb. I could take one more stab at it, but then that would be it. I'd probably get shut down at that point, which I'm okay with. I mean, we got to think and calm calm heads prevail, but we're really starting to tank now as the market is coming in. But an absolute disastrous scenario, not how we wanted. We wanted to keep this green streak going, but I'm just at a point now where it's just like, oh, all right, we may have to accept our fate right now. That was really, really bad on my behalf. And I apologize. More news stepping in. Let's get all out of SMR here. We take our last little bit out as the market's continuing to climb, and the USO is ripping.
We have more headlines here with the conflict in the Middle East. Israel's Channel 12 reporting that Trump is not eager to resume the war, but he, quote, may not have a choice. This is citing U.S. officials. This also comes after comments from Katz, who is, I guess, a speaker here in Israel, saying that once they get the green light from Trump in the U.S., they're all ready to restart the conflict with Iran. So Israel signaling here that the conflict could be beginning once again between the U.S. and Iran. Back to you.
And there it goes. So, yeah, that's not good. Not the good. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. We got to accept it. We put on the shares. We took that trade. Very, very dangerous. But let's try it one more time off these lows. I don't know if it's gonna work though. We keep selling USO continuing to climb. I think I gotta take my hands off the keyboards right now. Be a little bit more patient on the potential entry. But yeah, not good. Considering we're just grinding all day in SMR. Yeah, just like 2 opportunities on the NASDAQ not going our way. No, I'm not even that mad, to be honest with you. It is what it is. Nothing we can play. I don't know about that. I get frustrated. I definitely get frustrated.
I'd say that's probably a little bit different than mad, though.
Yeah,
you're a pretty level-headed individual. Even when you are like not having a great day, you're quiet most of the time when you're not happy.
Yeah, that's me. When I'm mad, I just go like that's me. I'm the person who's like, if I'm frustrated or mad, I go silent.
Yeah, that's how I know whether you know. Nubian Rack. Shout out, she's asking both of you and I, so let's answer her together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, trying again with this question from last week. Sorry, Nubian. You know, it's busy around here. I do apologize for that. On average, how many trades do you guys take a day? Is overtrading a thing for you? At what point would you overtrade? So look, to me, I never really count my trades. I just got to tell you full stop there. I'm really looking at the day, right? So for example, are the small caps, are they respecting support and resistance today? So like if I'm getting in on the same levels that I typically get in on a regular day, right? A good day, and it holds up, but it's not holding up today, then I try to get the feel for how these ones are trading on the day or how maybe my mood is, right? And when you're on a heater and you're doing well, I don't really concern myself with the number of trades. When I start noticing that all of a sudden, you know, the same trades that were making me money yesterday, the day before, and the day before, and the day before aren't working today, then I'm like, all right, well, then it's time for me to pause. So that it's open, guys. Sorry, we just have to pause. It might halt down here. This is going to be the first down halt. Yes, Joey, I got out at the right time. 1787 halt level. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, no.
Oh, it always makes me look bad, Joey. I thought I had this one, but there we go.
Come on.
I hate him.
Come on.
1787. This was halted down, rejecting 20. That is the first halt down, I think, in 12. So definitely something to look out for there. But to continue to answer your question, Nubian Rack is... I don't count my trades. I think overtrading definitely is a real thing, especially if you're coming from the negative and you're trying to get into the positive and you're trying to take trades and adding a little bit more risk to try to get back to even or even go green on the day. At least that's where I've experienced overtrading. When I'm negative, when I'm trying to get out of a hole and you start taking, excuse my language, dumbass trades.
Like I just did on multiple occasions.
We have to start the news right now, though, Joey. Can you
do whatever you guys got to do, man? I'm locked in right now. I gotta manage this here.
All right, sounds good. We're gonna start. We're gonna start the news. All right, let's go. See you and I, and then when Joey's ready, he's gonna jump in.
Throw it to Adara. She has an update.
Yeah, I just want to remind you guys here what's happening with oil. As we know, there were reports suggesting that President Trump doesn't want to resume the war, but he, quote, may have no alternative. That's being reported by Israel, or Israeli Channel 12, rather. They're also reporting that their intelligence assessment is indicating that the renewed fighting with Iran does appear to be nearing. So looks like, unfortunately, this conflict is going to be re-escalating. I just wanted to give you guys an update with this headline as oil continues to take out new intraday highs, USO above $135.
Thank you so much for that, Adara. We're going to directly dive into our first story, Tesla. I'm just going to take you through a recap. We did take you all over the earnings yesterday. We had that crazy spike after they just reported earnings, crazy spike at the opening. Currently stock dipping a little bit, but let's take a quick look at the numbers. So the EPS beat 41 cents versus a 37 estimate. Revenue miss of $22.39 billion versus a $22.64 billion estimated. Automotive revenue up 16% year over year. Margins have improved 19.2%. Deliveries at 358,000 units shows a sequential decline, but modest growth year over year. CapEx surge $25 billion expected versus prior $20 billion. Energy segment in the negatives 12% year over year. Weakness outside the core auto segment. Fundamentals are stable, but there's also a certain narrative is shifting due to the heavy spending. And future bets, which increases Tesla's near-term multiple compression risk. Total production also standing at 400,000 range, which is down 6.17% from the last quarter. Company has also said that the high gas prices are causing the rally that's in demand, and this was said in the earnings call yesterday. Currently, Tesla down by 4%.
Yeah, that's an interesting take there, that the oil prices would push up demand for EVs. Not something we're unfamiliar with, given what happened in 2022. Anecdotally, here's a story. My old man and I, April 2022, I still had my Lexus SUV at the time, and I was like, all right, I want to upgrade to an EV. I wanted to get the Model Y performance. I schlepped out to a city around Toronto called Guelph to meet a gentleman who had a red Model Y performance with white interior, black tints. It was beautiful. This thing at the time, not saying that's the price now, at the time it was like 60 and change brand new. Maybe let's just go low 70s. He wanted 95,000 for this thing. So I got the hell out of there. Obviously, I didn't close the deal. I left. The point was, there was such a huge demand. Now, there was a bit of a different variable at the time that we don't have now, which was the semiconductor shortage, as well as production delays because so many factories were shut down during COVID. So it's a bit of a different story. So completely agree that demand destruction for gas usually leads people into electric vehicles. Probably not as much this time around as opposed to last time. Let's talk about the report though. What I like right away, margins are higher. Gross margins coming in at 16%, were expected to be, automotive revenue, 16%. Growing year over year up to 19.2%. So their automotive revenue, I think, had slipped at some point into the mid-teens, 14, 15, 16, in and around there. Nice to see it back up into 19.2. Analysts were always of the opinion that Tesla's margins could only decrease because there would always be new entrants into the EV space. And as a result, they would have more competition. More competition usually means some sort of price cuts. And so I do like that. That's number one. Number two, what stands out to me right away, and the point I made earlier with Joey, this $25 billion CapEx, I ain't buying it. Maybe now, maybe for 26, given what they have to build out in this year. But the CapEx for Terafab is going to be well north of $100 billion. That's just my humble submission to you guys, whether or not it actually makes it up there, and how much they realize on a quarter-by-quarter basis, because a lot of this stuff, it gets pushed back. Your guess is as good as mine. What also caught my attention, energy segment. This was like the star of Tesla. It was, the fastest growing segment, one that's underappreciated, especially with automotive hurting. What the hell happened? Down 12% year over year, so that's completely changing the trend there, Joey. I don't know.
You have to give me a couple.
No worries, of course. I think we have to go to Adara. She's got a comment here on Tesla.
I do have a comment here on TSLA, and I think, what was interesting, I was saying to Sia off camera, I've noticed with Tesla, people tend to think this one is a car company when the auto is doing really well, and then they'll go, oh, but it's not just a car company, it's an everything else company when it's doing badly. And so my thing is, I think it can be both. I don't think there's anything wrong with Tesla being both. I just want some kind of, consistency to the approach to Tesla. Now, I mean, it's interesting to automotive revenue. I do like the year-over-year growth. This is down sequentially, but it's worth noting sequential comparisons are always tough because certain companies have kind of seasonal trends. Like I talked about IBM yesterday. I was saying to Brendan, IBM's revenue is always markedly worse in Q1 of each year than it is in Q4 of the same year. Right, so there's a lot of seasonal trends. There's a lot of backloading, however you want to call it. That does make a lot of sense. But yeah, I think with TSLA, I never want to necessarily trust the timelines that Elon gives us. I've already gone through that very long Wikipedia page where it goes through every single timeline Elon Musk has provided for Tesla, and then the percentage of those that have actually come to fruition, which is very little. I think with Elon, he's proven that he does get things done, just maybe not with the timeline that he's telling us he will. So it's not like I'm not believing what he's saying. I just think sometimes the timeline or the scope can be questionable. So yeah, that's my take here on TSLA. A couple other headlines here out of the Middle East. We heard reports probably like 20 minutes ago now that President Trump is going to be meeting with Israeli and Lebanese ambassadors. Apparently he will be greeting them at the White House tonight, as reported by Axios. Furthermore, ISNA noting that all three heads of branches of the Iranian government jointly posted a message containing a common sentence on their X accounts. Nothing massive here, except some people are basically saying that all these accounts are likely run by the same entity or being, told to post the same thing. So interesting stuff here out of Iran. And with this conflict, I will keep you all posted, as we do over here on Trader TV Live.
Yeah, that's well said, Talipo. He said 25 billion capex, so the stock wouldn't touch 200. If he said 100 billion capex, yeah, I tend to agree. We already saw exactly, how the street felt about some of the capex by Meta, by Microsoft, by who else there? Meta, Microsoft, and Google. Obviously, Amazon as well, big capex spending, but I think it's a bit of a different runway for them, right? Yeah. For the same reasons that I was talking about, Meta, and why they may not realize revenue as quickly as the other three is because they don't have data centers, cloud-based data centers, and now neo-cloud, off which to monetize, at least in the short term. So it's going to have to be ad spend. I think Elon's in the same business here, right? He's got to generate money through the sale of cars, through the sale of robotics, through the sale of autonomous vehicles, right? To kind of support all that CapEx spend on chips. So I do agree with that. I do agree with that. Good take there. Sia, what are we talking about next?
We're talking about Microsoft. Microsoft has sealed its commitment to Australia with a 25 billion Australian dollar AI investment, which amounts to around 18 billion USD, which is ending in the year 2029. Now, Azure capacity is expected to grow over 140%. Microsoft has said that this will strengthen Australia's national defense by expanding Microsoft ASD cyber shield to critical government agencies and deepening collaboration with Home Affairs. This is coming from their report earlier this morning. This deal includes cybersecurity expansion and AI workforce training. It will be building on the MCAS, which is the Microsoft Australian Signals Directorate Cyber Shield that was established in the country in the year 2023. It also builds on the workforce in Australia because Microsoft will be training around 3 million Australians with AI-ready skills by the year 2028. Another headline with Microsoft this morning was that France has swapped Microsoft for domestic cloud company Scaleway to repatriate the health data hub. Now, Europe is seeking cloud sovereignty that is independent of the US-based big tech, and this move definitely signals the country's interest towards that. Currently, Microsoft trading in the red, negative by 4%.
What if the I'm so vendettive. I'm like, what if the U.S. company stopped selling European cloud providers their chips? It's like, go make your own chips. But then ASML could stop selling the EUV machines to all of them, and then that would be catastrophic as well. So a little of this, a little of that, Joey. Yeah. But here's the deal, man. $25 billion Australian dollars, 18 billion US dollars. What I do like about this is for the reason that we saw during the initial parts of the Middle Eastern conflict there with Iran, when you got data centers hit by Amazon. Remember that? The drones or the missiles hit that data center, and we saw Amazon reroute a lot of that demand for cloud into their other data centers. Well, how'd they do that? Because these bad boys have been laying underwater high data density cables, fiber optics. Joey knows a lot about that for years now, and they're spending billions of dollars to lay these deep sea cables. Why? So that they could have redundancy for exactly the same reason that we saw during the Middle East at the beginning of the conflict. So I don't mind this at all. Obviously, it's there to serve the Australian and, you know, that area of geography's needs, but it's also a possibility that it could be used for redundance purposes. So I like it. I don't have much more to say about the Amazon build out, you know, Azure build out there, but Azure's capacity is expected to grow, according to this report, about 140%. So there's a lot of demand there, Joey.
Yeah, I'm just pulling everything out. Let me catch up. Give me a couple more seconds and I'll be able to.
All right. Let's go on to the next topic, Sia.
We're talking about a lot of earnings season, and with that, we're talking about ServiceNow. Now has reported an inline EPS of 97 cents per share. Revenue for this quarter has grown 22% year over year. The number has come in at $3.77 billion versus a $3.75 billion estimate. Subscription revenue now stands at $3.67 billion, which is a slight beat, but growth has been impacted by 75 basis points from the delayed Middle East deals, as said by the company. FY subscription guide between $15.7 billion to $15.8 billion versus estimated at $15.6 billion. AI narrative is also strong, with large enterprise AI customers up 130% year over year. Key issue with this story, however, is that the street wants proof of monetization and not just adoption. Our full year guidance, this is a statement coming from the CFO, Gina Mastantuono. Our full year guidance reflects a prudent assessment right now of the geopolitical environment, she told CNBC this morning. With that being said, Q2 subscription guide stands between the range of $3.815 billion to $3.82 billion versus an estimated number of $3.75 billion. Stock was already down 33% year to date, so this shows that the positioning is weak. But before I pass it over to the guys, Adara, what do you have to say about the stock?
Yeah, well, for one, I have another Middle East headlines. So we'll start with that before I get into my thoughts on ServiceNow. So we'll get to ServiceNow service later. In the meantime, guys, seeing reports from Iran's newer news that air defenses have been activated in parts of Tehran for reasons unknown. So just more signs of potential concerns here about escalating tensions. But now let's talk about ServiceNow, which I think has done a bit of a disservice to a lot of these names in the software space once again. Now, I was reading from, I don't know if kind of a cheesy pun there, but what was interesting was reading accounts or posts from some of these accounts that are like very, very bullish software. Like if you guys go on X, Amadeus Investing, Shea Bulor, all of those guys who are super, super, super into all of the names in this space. They're like doing the influencing specifically for your ServiceNows, for your CRMs, et cetera, for your Oracles. And they're all saying like this is significant because ServiceNow's been down quite a few times this year on this software narrative, but this time they have taken the entire sector with them. And again, it's likely because of, as Sia mentioned, these concerns about the Middle East and how that's going to be impacting their deals. They also had, the short-term margin concerns here, right? That being said, on a sequential basis, slight improvement in their growth. Now, this chart looks almost identical to last quarter's. You've got like subscription and total revenue growth dead in line with one another, and then the slightly smaller sector, the professional services / other, is still up, but it's up just a little bit less. That being said, like we got 21% subscription and total growth year over year last quarter. Again, slight improvement sequentially, so not a bad look. Yeah, I think with ServiceNow, it's less the actual report and more the narrative surrounding it, given the tensions and the concerns here about this sector with AI and competition from AI. And again, I think the fact that they come out here with this guidance, the timing of this, and this is like, I think maybe the first major SaaS name to report within the official Q1 2026 earnings season. I think all of these factors coming together with some confluence, shout out to Obi, not a good look, but we'll have to see if we're going to bounce tomorrow because it's always a possibility.
So the way I look at this is kind of the Anthropic, it's always Anthropic that's at the headline, but it's more about just the coding aspect of AI, the coding skills of AI. What we see from the actual LLMs themselves, whether you're talking about Gemini, whether you're talking about OpenAI, even Anthropic themselves, a lot of the code they're generating for their new LLMs is vibe coded. It's actually generated by AI. So if the LLM companies themselves are actually using vibe coding, let's just call it vibe coding, I know it's more complicated than that, to actually improve their own models, what could this do to the software space? And I think that this is the kind of the concern about that, right? And so obviously you start looking down the road and you start looking at demand destruction for software, and especially software as a service, SaaS, right? Which basically was one of the stickiest forms of revenue. So this is what concerns me, obviously the AI narrative. The market seems to really not care whether or not there's demand. Bill McDermott was pounding the table yesterday about how much demand there was, and it even surprised him and his company about the actual demand. And so it didn't really matter about that. What mattered was how much money that they were able to actually monetize off that demand, and the market didn't see enough money being made, and I think that that's why we sold off aggressively. All right, we got to go to Adara.
As we already heard reported here, I think last week, Meta telling their staff they're going to be cutting 10% of jobs in an efficiency push. Apparently, they're going to be rolling out more layouts later in the year, as we first initially heard reported. But again, META gets this wild wick here as Algos digest the news that the company is telling staff they're going to be cutting 10% of jobs in a push for efficiency. Again, we did have a warning that this type of headline was coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, so just to continue on, I don't think the market cares about the demand. I think the market sees that there's an excessive amount of demand for AI and AI-related products just based upon how the hyperscalers are spending up a storm on these data centers. They wouldn't do that unless the demand was insatiable. And so I don't think the street is surprised by the demand. It's whether or not ServiceNow, one, has a forward-looking business model that can continue to generate revenue in the face of all this vibe coding and the other aspects of AI that are kind of being disruptive, and whether or not, they're actually going to be able to realize some of this money that they keep saying that they have demand for. So that's my take there, Joey.
All right on. Let's move on to the next story.
All right, Sia, what do we got next?
Talking about American Airlines has cut its 2026 earnings projection after the jet fuel surge. It seems like it's a culprit for all the airlines here have been cut. So airlines have been cutting either their full year forecast or holding off on further guidance due to all the volatile prices on jet fuel since the war between U.S. and Iran has begun. And with that, AAL is currently up 1%, but that candle does not look great. Wall Street analysts have been trimming AAL's forecast since the Israel attacks on Iran earlier this year, but it has said that it might post an adjusted per share loss of 40 cents up to earnings of $1.10 a share, which is lower than the forecasted EPS of $1.70 to $2.70 in January. We're going to recover, but key to that is just supply and demand balance. CEO of the company, Robert Islam, has said to CNBC today, and like I said, currently AAL up 1%, but candle not looking good.
Yes. Just give me a sec. So here's the deal. There's no demand issue here. It's not like people don't want to travel. 10.6% increase in domestic revenue, 14.2% increase in cross-Atlantic revenue, alongside with a high passenger load factors of about 81.3%. Issue is here, can they control their costs? And it's completely out of their hand. Now, we know Delta has a refinery. Delta's a little bit out there, right? They kind of do things a little bit of a different way. But I don't even think that would be enough to kind of basically assuage some of these costs. The costs are pretty bad. Now, we've seen some of the airlines try to pass off some of the costs to the consumer vis-a-vis a fuel surcharge. They say, most of them anyway, they're going to be able to recoup about 40 to 50% of the increased costs with this fuel surcharge. But that leaves another, 60 to 50% uncovered. And so we may either see higher prices for flights. And, I skipped one thing. Canadian Airlines, I don't know if American Airlines have started doing this, but Canadian Airlines are starting to cut all these unprofitable routes, right? So if you're flying from Toronto to Thunder Bay, probably like 5-10 people on the airplane, probably the airline doesn't make any money off that. And they run it as a loss leader so that they're trying to capture market. But they're cutting those now. And so all of a sudden, a convenience, an issue for consumers, basically availability of flights becomes an issue as well. So it does concern me a little bit if there's going to be at least short to intermediate term demand destruction. But the demand as it currently stands, not too bad at all. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the cost of this fuel, essentially. $4 billion, essentially, is what we're looking at across the year. $2 billion alone this quarter. I mean, a lot going on, rising to $4.23 a gallon. Obviously, jet fuel is going to be significantly more expensive. Accounts for a quarter of more of the airlines. I mean, like, listen, rising fare costs, they're not going to just allow their margins to dwindle. They're going to pass that on to onto the consumer, and it's going to cost more to travel from a day-to-day basis. So, I mean, just be prepared and be cautious, and obviously aware of what you are getting yourself involved with, especially with USO just absolutely soaring through the roof. And if things continue to climb like this, you'll see the cost of airfare continue to go up.
All right, just before we go to back to Sia, Skills is halted down again. So it was 1, 2, and then it up halted, and now we're down halted again. So guys, careful with this one, okay? They're around for a good time. They're typically not around for a long time. I say typically because some of them are multi-day plays, but you should always view these names through suspicious eyes because the fundamentals for most part are not there, right? And they're intraday trades. I used to say this a lot, then I stopped saying it because people were like, yo, you're dissuading people from trading small caps. But I really have to say this because I'm taking these trades and then some people may think, well, it's just as easy as punching, you know? Well, it's not, right? We reject 20, down, halted here, 1246, see ya.
Yeah, we're taking a look at IBM's earnings revenue at $15.9 billion, which is up 9%. Adjusted EPS at $1.91 versus $1.81. Analyst forecasts surpassed, up 8% year over year. Sales for the quarter have increased 9% to reach $15.9 billion. The stock was trading 15% lower year to date, but it's up 4.6% from a year ago. The software segment sales has also grown 11%. to $7.1 billion, driven by acquisitions of Red Hat, HashiCorp, and most recently Confluent. IBM's infrastructure segment had also grown a massive 28% year over year, specifically a 51% increase in sales of Z mainframes. Consulting revenue is up 4% to $5.3 billion. Infrastructure revenue is up 15%. Free cash flow stands at $2.2 billion. IBM has launched the AI-focused Z17 mainframe last year to help clients orchestrate and govern AI across hybrid environments. Currently, IBM in the red, almost 10%.
That's not a good look, Sia. That's not good at all. So I have a few points here that I want to make. Guidance remained unchanged, about 5% increase in constant growth currency. The street was unimpressed with that. They wanted a raise. Second, there was no update on the AI book of business. That removes one of the key bullish data points. That's essentially a segment negative. So no update on that, and that was probably a little bit of the reason we sold. And then there's the overhang. Let's just be honest about it. Again, the Anthropic angle to this, the AA, the Anthropic angle / Claude, you want to call it that. It definitely affects their CBOL. I think they call it COBOL. I don't even know how to say the short form of that. Modernization. That is a structural concern, right? Basically, all these legacy systems, they were helping modernize that, and they were bringing them onto their system. And now you may not even need that anymore based upon how kind of all these enterprise apps are being developed by Anthropic. And if you believe the rumors, Altman and company want to throw their hat into the enterprise ring as well. So there could be more. There could be more pressure, not just from Anthropic, but from other rivals in these LLMs, Joey, as they try to take on IBM's moat there with legacy software.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, same thing with Microsoft. We've seen SaaSmageddon and how some of these names have just been continuously getting hit. IBM down, and we were talking about an actual structural change from a technical standpoint here on IBM. Steady multi-year bull run, and then now you open up at the lower end of the range after that earnings report. Not necessarily a good scenario. Now, mixed reports from the analyst here, guys. So what we have is mostly downgrades and some maintaining. So lowering price targets to $310 by Evercore ISI, downgrading to a neutral weight here by JP Morgan, or coverage with a neutral weight by JP Morgan. So be cautious with this one. SaaSmageddon is in full effect, and we've seen it across the board, whether it be the Palantirs, the CrowdStrikes, the Microsofts continuously getting hit, and now IBM taking a big time hit on yesterday's earnings report.
All right, just want to shout out, just Assassino, super quick. Thank you very much, Brown Fox, a TikTok viewer, for the 500 coins, my man. He's dropping the coinage there in the chat. Cheer me up, TX. All right, I guess that was the message there. We're shouting about, and thank you again to our fantastic mod, Bravely. We got to go to Adara.
Just be aware here, a couple different headlines. One on Spotify. Spotify's at day low, not reacting to this at all as far as I can tell as of yet. But they're launching integration with Claude specifically for personalized recommendations. They're confirming that none of their content has actually been shared with Anthropic for AI training. But either way here, Claude collaboration has helped some companies, not helping Spotify right now. USO also in watch. We're getting some comments now. Once again here out of the Middle East, commentary this time from Foreign Minister Araghchi of Iran in a social media post saying that failure of Israel's attacks shows Iran's unity, coordinated diplomatic and battlefield fronts, and then also saying the battlefield and diplomacy are fully coordinated fronts in the same war. So we're kind of posturing here in the Middle East. Once again, we're hearing air defenses being engaged in Tehran. Back to you.
I don't like engagements. All right, see ya. I heard we're talking about Warner Brothers next.
We are talking about Warner Brothers. WBD shareholders have finally approved Paramount's acquisition with a preliminary vote today. PSKY has offered a $31 per share for the entirety of WBD. Now, you're asking me, what does entirety include? Let me tell you. Well, it's the cable TV networks like TNT, CNN, Discovery Channel, as well as the streaming services like HBO Max and Warner Bros. Film Studio. That's a lot. So PSKY and WBD have said that the deal is expected to close in the third quarter, depending on the regular sign off. Another thing to note here is that WBD shareholders voted overwhelmingly in favor of the deal with Paramount, but they did not support the payouts to WBD executives. But the catch here is that since this is a non-bidding vote, the payments to WBD CEO David Zaslav and other executives will still go through, despite the rejection of the proposed golden parachute, which is a $355 million excise tax. That was reported later in March this year by CNBC. Currently, PSKY is down 6%, WBD in the red by 0.8%.
So yeah, it's interesting. Look what they said. So chairman of the board of Warner Brothers, Samuel Piazza, not Mike Piazza, don't get it wrong. Not a catcher for the Mets. With Paramount, I know you have comments on this, so I'll let you chime in because I know how you feel about this whole tie-up. With Paramount, we look forward to creating an exceptional combined company that will expand consumer choice and benefit the global creative talent community, said this Samuel Piazza guy. Look, essentially $111 billion. You add to that the $2.8 billion that PSKY was on the hook for Netflix because they were going to pay the breakup fee. It wasn't Warner that was going to do it. $31 a share. My concern about this whole thing, and I like the Netflix approach. I don't like Netflix. I made that clear.
Yep.
But I did like the Netflix approach to what they were doing. They just wanted the cream of the crop. They didn't want the legacy crap. No. The cable cuttings. CNN has a fantastic reputation. HBO obviously is great, obviously through HBO Max. They didn't want the legacy networks. Now Paramount is going to take the legacy networks.
They're taking everything.
Hold on. And what are they going to do? Are they going to put this stuff on their streaming? Because people are not watching this stuff on cable anymore. Whether you're looking at cable subscribers, down and to the right. You're looking at advertising dollars, down and to the right. So I didn't like that aspect of it, but they've done it. They paid more than almost 1.5.
They paid significantly.
Right?
Yeah, like
what was it, like 72 or 75 or whatever? 70.
Netflix was in at 72.
Yeah, 72.
It's 72 billion, right? Yeah, I'm fine. Why wouldn't I be? No. Okay. So one thing. So every day that this deal doesn't get done after September, Paramount Skydance has to pay shareholders, I believe it's $0.25 a share, right? So that's going to be added on top of that bill. Do I have confidence in Paramount Skydance? Absolutely not. I think it's in the better hands of Netflix. Now, as for everything else, I mean, Netflix received a bill, I believe, as well, too. It was like $2 billion or something just for backing out of the deal.
Hold on. They got $2.8 billion.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't receive. They received $2.8 billion. Yeah, they received something, right? So this is a win-win scenario. Netflix only wanted it at a certain price. I believe that Paramount Skydance overpaid for this, and I don't know if they're going to have the ability to maximize the potential of the catalog that Warner Brothers is giving them, obviously the HBO Max, etc. So I don't like what they've done. What are you going to do with the legacy TV channels? I have no idea. Are you going to put them on the streams? Are people going to watch them? Probably not. So at the end of the day, Paramount Skydance did overpay. Netflix stopped out, and that was a smart business decision. They didn't get too greedy, and they didn't have to win this deal. They wanted it at a certain price, and that was it.
Guys, there's news here that it says no Israeli activity in Iranian airspace. Israel's Channel 3 is citing military sources. Obviously, this is like back and forth, back and forth. As soon as we have anything more, obviously, we'll give it to you. What are we talking about next, Sia?
We're talking about TXN. This was a stock I was mentioning earlier in the morning. TXN's earnings with their capex peak and cash flow. Texas Instruments has reported a solid first quarter's earnings results last afternoon. Post-market EPS at $1.68, which was landed well ahead of the Wall Street consensus estimate of $1.36 and up from $1.28 last year. Revenue for the quarter has reached $4.8 billion, exceeding the expectations of $4.5 billion and representing a 19% increase year over year. TXN's operating margin has stayed exceptionally strong at 37.5%. Guidance for fiscal second quarter has also been noted to be strong by analysts covering TXN. Company has also announced several years of heavy investment in updating its factories is finally returning to normal levels. Reduced capital expenditures have translated into free cash flow to $1.4 billion for this quarter after a 2025 deficit. So TXN's long-delayed shift to 300mm silicon wafers is also done, which will reduce pressure on margins. First quarter free cash flow margin, excluding CHIPS Act contribution, was up significantly to 19%. CHIPS Act, just giving an overview, provides roughly $52.7 billion in subsidies, grants, and tax benefits, primarily to encourage companies to build chip fabrication plants. Currently, TXN is it doing pretty good? Oh, up 16%, sending it to Adera.
Yeah, I have some more headlines here in the Middle East. For people wondering why the market's dropping, it's really just a series of headlines that continue to come out here that suggest the conflict in the Middle East with Iran, Israel, and the U.S. is escalating, specifically that Iran and Israel are having some escalation and that the U.S. might be actually forced to get back involved. Now, Ghalibaf, who is the parliamentary speaker of Iran, who has also reportedly resigned as of an hour ago, clearly he hasn't because his comments are still circulating. He's saying that Iran stands united under its leadership with no divisions and warning that the country will make any aggressor, quote unquote, regret their actions through their national unity. So lots of aggression here coming out of Iran. Israel actually denying that they launched any attacks in Iran, saying that they have not launched any attacks. You know, Iran's come out and basically said here, like, hey, any aggressor is going to regret things. They've already basically come after Israel here verbally. So, again, Israel's saying they have not gotten involved. We're going to have to wait and see what happens here. But so much back and forth, very little, you know, solid news or something that's consistent at all here, guys. Back to you.
Yes, that's exactly it. Let's talk a little bit about this Texas Instruments report. So, look, what immediately stood out to me, free cash flow, $1.4 billion this time, versus the minus $250 million loss, negative, last time. How'd that happen? Well, because they were spending up a storm building these data centers, as well as, of course, their chip producing plants. Now, TXN, much like MCHP and some others, they deal in the chips that are not advanced, like the north of 7 nanometer. The things that you put in your dishwasher, your oven, your microwaves, still a lot of demand for that, right? So that's where their mode is there. So their data center exposure also grew 90% year over year. That's emerging as a growth leg that I personally didn't expect. What else? CapEx reset, exactly, post the heavy fab investment. That's a key driver of margins. If you're not spending up a storm on building out your infrastructure, that money is realized as profits as on one side of the balance sheet as opposed to the other. So I like this, but some other names that you need to be alive to. It's not just TXN who dominates this space. The name I'm involved in, MCHP, this is, it's not outperformed, to be quite honest with you. What's it called? TXN, and it's back into area resistance. I do worry about this $100 area, but you know, MCHP's recovered a little bit. But when you look at the TXN chart, there's really no arguing with this. This is at all-time highs. It's an absolute rocket ship, but keep your eyes as well on STM. That's another one to keep your eye out on there. STM Microelectronics, get very similar chart to MCHP, where it's kind of getting into close to highs. Let's see if it can break through that $55 high. These are all sympathy plays as well, so keep your eye on that. But, you know, it's not always about 3 and 2 nanometer, 18A and 14A. Sometimes we just need these basic chips, and that's where TXN flourishes, yeah?
Oh, I'm so sorry. We're going to talk I'm so sorry, that threw me off guard. We're going to talk about CMCSA. Comcast has beat revenue earnings expectations, and all thanks to improved broadband losses. CMCSA has topped Wall Street's expectations and earnings estimate for the quarter. CEO Brian Roberts also has mentioned on the earnings call as of yesterday that it may still be early, but the initial results are coming. Now let's dive into the specifics. EPS 70 cents adjusted versus the 73 cents expected. CMCSA's overall revenue has increased roughly 5% to $31.46 billion for the quarter. The company has also said that it has lost 65,000 broadband customers compared to the 183,000 losses in the same period last year, so that's a significant recovery over there. The company has also leaned on its mobile business for growth, which added 35,000 new lines during the quarter. So now the company has 9.7 million mobile customers. Revenue for Comcast Connectivity and Platforms unit has also decreased 2% to $17.32 billion. Net income has sunk 36%, nearly to $2.17 billion, or 60 cents per share, which compared with $3.38 billion, or 89 cents a share. The company's overall revenue has also received a boost from Comcast's NBC Universal, which airs a plethora of sports, including the Super Bowl, Winter Olympics, and NBA All-Star Weekend. A 61% increase in revenue to $7.28 billion has been observed during the quarter, excluding Olympics and Super Bowl, which provided significant boost to advertising sales revenue unit, which was up about 13%. So I would overall say the stock is having a pretty good day. CMCSA up an 8%.
Yeah, this is interesting. And you and my sister are the only two people, Sia, that I've heard say plethora. I say plethora, but I think both are right. It's like boy and buoy, right? Get it,
Sorry,
Neil.
what was your pronunciation?
Plethora.
Plethora?
Yeah, but I think both are right. Because my sister says it that way.
It's different with the British English and the American English.
That's where I'm assuming.
Okay.
Well, again, that goes to buoy and boy, right? Anyway, let's go on here. So reading over this report, apparently they had a kick-ass February. They're calling it legendary February, where there was a remarkable 17-day stretch that and that NBCU delivered what they're calling record advertising sales, about roughly $2 billion over that 17 days. They added 2 million net new subscribers. That puts Peacock on track to approach profitability for the first time ever next quarter. That was co-CEO Kavanaugh. Basically, his comments on the call yesterday. Look, I'm not a big fan of Comcast. I get that they're trying to do Peacock and streaming. They're trying to move away from legacy. I know that they've got their hand in broadband as well, but I don't know, man. It seems to me like these are not the spaces where I'd want to put a lot of my money. Let's take a look at the chart, see if the market agrees with me, at least on a wider time from CMCSA. It's up nicely, but what does a weekly look like? Well, yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. Tough times. The good support level in and around, let's just say about $30, but we did lose that support into 25, but that could have been, the issue with the war there. I don't know, Joey. I don't know if you're going to comment on this one. This is not my favorite stock, and it feels like it might be setting up for a head and shoulders pattern where it loses at $25. I'm not a fan of this name. Great report. They had the Olympics, they did some stuff, but I think longer term, it's not for me. All right, it's 1:59, so we're just gonna finish up here. Thank you, Sia. We're good to go. So guys, it was a very, very interesting trading day. Let's go through the side watch list, the side charts over here to see what's still moving or what the situation is on some of them. So TRT lost the trend. Buru lost the trend. EUDA lost the trend. You see where I'm going with this? SST barely holding above VWAP. Keel dropped as well. PAPL, it did break through the dollar, so I did miss this one. I wouldn't have probably held for all that much, but it did break through the dollar, dropping down though. Look for support on PAPL, right around 92 to 95 pennies. It could see some support there. It has earlier at the volume weighted average price. Doesn't typically make it all the way down to VWAP, but that's another one to look at. IREN as well, IREN. This is the leveraged ETF for it, losing trend. Is it below VWAP? I don't know. It's not refreshing. Let's find out. Yeah, it just got back above VWAP there. It held that $26 general area of support and right back up into 27.5. IRE still up about 11 1/5 on the day. And yeah, that's it, guys. But it was really one, or actually it was 3 trades that we did well today. It was TRT, it was Buru, and it was Skills. Hopefully we'll do as well to end off the week tomorrow. Catch it with Joey and I. It'll be the last day that Joey covers for Sean, as Sean gets a bit of a late flight, so he won't be able to make it in any event, Adara has news at the big desk. Then we go to the boys.
Here with OGL popping here. There's a developer keynote at 1:30 p.m. I guess I'm seeing the summary from this keynote. Developers building applications in days that took just weeks or months a couple of years ago. Google is actually accelerating its own internal development velocity. So lots of posturing here from Google, but it is pushing higher. Now, I also want to talk here about the latest headline with oil and the market. Now, we know oil pushed higher, market pushed lower, likely as we were hearing that air defenses were activated in Tehran. Then Israel said, okay, but we have not actually, had any activity here. We are not getting involved in Iran. And then last but not least, now seeing some reports that any active air defense in Iran is probably posturing, it's performative, and it's not actually responding to any threat. So tons of backs and forth. If I hear anything else, I'll let you know. But guys, we're getting lots of moves. Not all of these moves will necessarily have a news catalyst, but I'll keep you posted every time they do. So stick with us at Trader TV Live. Back to the guys.